I had 2 full-time jobs and going to culinary school at the same time.
Yeah, I feel that.
I was getting it. There was times where like I didn't have $20 to put fucking gas in my car, so I had to be like, okay, what's more important, school or work?
Yeah,
I gotta make a decision, right? Yeah. So it's like, sorry guys, I can't make it to school today. I gotta go work because I need the money to put in gas so I can get to your school and then get to work.
Welcome to the next episode of Pancom Podcast, brought to you by a bunch of people that are paying us money.
You always say it's the next episode. It's the current episode. This is this time traveling podcast that you're hosting.
Actually, I'm not time traveling. We are going on strike.
Are we?
Yeah, the Michael Beltrán union for Pancom Podcast is going on strike today. Yeah,
today or tomorrow?
Right now, I mean, we'll start tomorrow, but
January 6th, right?
January 6th, yeah. We are going on. We are rioting the streets. Nick, Mr. Jimenez, for some reason, has decided to go to a store, spend $30 or $40 on this cheap light that I'm looking at. That's actually going to probably make this shit look worse. And
absolutely not.
And now he's forcing me
yes,
to work under duress.
That's correct.
I am being
completely under duress.
I'm just saying. Somebody said you're a vampire, so.
Yeah, who said that?
I said that.
Oh, you did?
There's no other reason for you to be so afraid of lights.
I'm not afraid of lights.
Oh,
I just don't enjoy them, right?
Like, you're terrified.
Winston's here. Winston, how shitty is that light? Thank you. Even Winston said it's a shitty ass light. I formally resigned through direct message to Mr. Jimenez, and I said I'm taking the pang with me.
That's what you said?
That's what I said.
You said you were resigning as the pang.
Well, yeah, I'm resigning as a pang because you bring the microphone, right? The stolen mic, you bring it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
All the stolen mics.
We've confirmed after 10 years of doing this podcast that they're stolen mics. I love that.
Welcome to Pancom Podcast. For fuck's sake, I'm Nick Jimenez, and I'm here with our usual unfortunate host, Michael Beltrán, alleged chef and 8th grade basketball MVP. We are joined by special guest, Chef Raheem Sealey. And I asked Mike to do all this shit because he did such an incredible job with Nick Sayas, and he just refused.
I don't even remember doing that.
No, you're on strike.
Yeah, because I'm fucking on strike.
This is where I back up.
Yeah. Raheem, welcome.
Thanks for having me, brother.
This is like, I think this is our third attempt to do this, right?
Yeah.
So, just like a quick story. I don't really totally remember how we met, right? Did we meet
here?
We met here?
Yeah, remember we did that dinner when Evan Ben hosted that dinner for.
Oh, that's right.
Oh,
Mr. Evan Ben.
Yeah.
We did the dinner downstairs for like 12 people.
And it was all of us. Yeah, me,
that's right.
Pushcart, Neven, Nando. It was pretty dope.
Pushcart too, man.
Yeah, it was pretty dope.
That's right. What a gem Pushcart is.
I know, he's awesome. My big teddy bear, huh?
Yeah, he is. He's like the nice guy. I'm sad
nicest guy.
What is he now? He's in West Palm Beach, right?
West Palm Beach, yeah. Once in a while I take that drive,
You do?
Yeah, just to have his food.
Yes, I would make that drive too. I feel like West Palm is like in another state.
Yeah, but it's not that bad.
No.
It's not that bad.
I hear you're on vacation.
Yeah, permanent vacation.
So before we get into everything, I know Raheem here from the Chef World in Miami, and Raheem is known for his time at Q, but now better known for his smoking of meats.
Yeah, man, Drinking Pig BBQ.
Yeah, Drinking Pig BBQ, which I've had the pleasure of going to twice, and it's coming back. You took a small sabbatical also?
Yeah, after for the holidays, man, in chefs, we don't ever get the holidays off, right? That's when we work the most.
When are the holidays?
I don't know.
Yeah,
exactly. Me this time I knew because and Christmas was off. I was off the day after and a couple of days after that, and then I took New Year's Eve and New Year's Day off.
Wow.
Actually, I worked on New Year's Day. I did a private dinner for a friend of mine.
Were you confused? Those days off? What do I do?
Yeah, I was. I didn't know what to do. I actually stayed home and did nothing.
That's amen to that.
Yeah.
That's great. I mean, so if I randomly have a Friday night off.
I don't know what you're going to do.
And I previously I would take a Friday night off, and we would go out, and I hated it because there was so many fucking people out, right?
Yeah.
It's fucking like so many people, and I'm just like, why are there so many people out? And then I realize I'm like, I should be at work right now.
Yeah.
Like
it's Friday night.
Yeah, it's Friday night. Like, and then you start getting anxiety because you're not at work. Oh, it's such a fucking domino effect for me. God bless.
I know what you mean, man. But I actually enjoyed it, man. There was the first time since I moved to Miami that I had New Year's Eve off and New Year's Day.
So let's go back. Let's go back to like the very beginning.
Okay.
Where you're from, where you grew up, how you got here, the whole thing.
That's a long ass story.
I mean, give me the skinny.
Don't worry, we skim it. We skim through. So I grew up. I'm from the U.S. Virgin Islands, St. Croix. Born and raised. I was there, raised there, went to school there. I left St. Croix October 15th of 2007. I remember the date very well. I had just had my
2007.
daughter. Yeah, 2007.
How old were you when you left?
I was 18.
Okay.
Yeah, 18. I had just graduated high school.
Okay.
So, part of the reason why I got out of St. Croix is because I had my daughter very young. I was 18 when I had my first kid, and I just wanted to, figure out a better way, a better life. Yeah, because St. Croix is pretty cool, right? But there's not a lot of opportunities for like young guys that want to do something. You know what I mean? Unless I always I see it this way: like you got to know somebody that know somebody that know somebody to get you something that you really want.
In St. Croix.
Yeah.
How big is St. Croix?
84 square miles.
84 square miles.
Yeah, very small.
Mr. Jimenez, can you find out the population of St. Croix, please? Yeah.
Very small, but it's a beautiful island, man. Like I think I'm where I am today because of where I heard.
41,000 people.
Yeah. Yeah.
Wow. That's not a lot.
No.
No.
But it seems like a lot when you're there.
Okay. That's interesting. All right.
Yeah, it seems like a lot of people when you're there. But you could go from like the east end to the west end in a car in like 30 minutes.
But there's a lot of tourism?
Yeah, for the most part. Since St. Thomas is the capital, they get most of the tourists and stuff. But St. Croix does too. We get our fair share of it. But we're more relaxed. I think everybody from St. Croix is just kind of more chill.
You strike me as a chill guy.
Yeah, I try to be. For me, it's like, what's there to get upset about and shit? Like, just take it easy.
Man,
like I used to be like that, man. Like when I first started cooking, I used to be like that, like the angry chef. I just wanted to get in everybody's face, throw away their prep. That shit don't take you nowhere. People just start leaving you and start hating you.
Yeesh. Yeah, no, I have no comment on the subject.
Yeah, man. So, anyways, I grew up there, moved. So when I left St. Croix, I actually went to work for my uncle doing industrial insulation, not cooking. But previously, I was cooking in St. Croix, so I just kind of fell in love with it.
What was your first job?
I was a dishwasher at a hotel.
Oh.
First, I was actually a guy that picked up the seaweed off the beach. So I used to go around with a shovel and a fucking hoe and dig all the seaweed out the ground from in front of this hotel and put it in a wheelbarrow and then wheel it across a half a mile across the fucking sand to dump in this pile of seaweed. It was the worst job ever.
That was it? That was the whole job?
Yeah, that was the job.
Wow, that sounds miserable.
It was fucking miserable.
How long did you do that?
It was hot. As long as it took for me to get the dishwasher job.
Got it.
So I was like, you know what? Fuck this. If I could get this dishwasher job, I'm taking it. So I kind of did. I started washing dishes, and that's what kind of like turned me on to the kitchen. All the noise and the chefs yelling and that type of shit was fun.
It's an environment that's like, it's just, what's the word for it? I'm looking for a word. And when you're attracted to it, you automatically just get enamored with it, and you just want to, like, that's just where you want to.
Yeah, you just want to do it, man. And then, so I left St. Croix, went to figure out life, for me and my daughter and family at the time. And I started doing like industrial installation with my uncle, which was boring as fuck. I was miserable. And, I moved. I left there, went to work in Orlando at Gaylord Palms Resort for a little while.
In Orlando?
Yeah, in Orlando. That was really fun. That kind of got me back into the kitchen again. Then my grandma always had a house in Miami, so she got pretty sick. And my aunt needed a hand with her, so I came down here to help out. And when I came down here to help out, I didn't know, like, what direction I wanted to go in my career. I was gonna go to the military, then I was gonna go drive truck because I like big trucks for some reason. Like I'm very, I never driven one, but I just like them.
Yeah, I mean the people who like it like it.
Yeah, so, you know what I mean? Like I actually got hired by a trucking company, and then I turned the job down, and I was like, you know, I was talking to a friend of mine, this older guy, and he was like, man, like what do you love to do? I was like, yeah, I love to cook. He's like, so then fucking do that. The money's gonna come.
This episode of Pan Con Podcast is brought to you by The Barrel. This is the barbecue grill that, if you're watching this in video form, is in front of us. We're here with Chef Danny Boza. Danny, tell us a little bit about what the genesis of this thing was. Where does The Barrel come from?
You know, I was a chef. I was working for a civil engineering firm before that, and I really hated everything that I was doing at the time. So I've always had a passion for cooking. And then, you know, I decided one day to move to New York, and everything took off from New York, Chicago, Hong Kong, LA, you know, Colorado, and then to Hawaii, and then back to Miami. And then I opened up my own spot in Coral Gables, sold the restaurant, and moved on to the next bigger, better thing. Obviously, COVID hit, so we had our own passion project. It started because a friend, was now a business partner, Diego Londoño, approached me to do a menu for his coffee shop. And I said, you know, let's go to Colombia. I got to see the tree. I got to, you know, feel it out, get a little inspiration. So I went out there, and then, you know, I tried some of the food when I got there, and I was blown away by the flavor. I found out they were actually cooking with the actual coffee tree. And then I saw their South American style roaster, and it was just really dinged up, beat up oil drum. Yeah. And I said, you know what? I can make something that's really cool. So myself and Diego put our heads together, and you know, it's a home run in my opinion. It's very sleek, very beautiful to look at. It's very, very cool.
It's a conversation starter. People see that in your yard and they want to talk about it.
Yeah, definitely people see it. And again, we're not trying to take over anybody's yard. We're trying to make it a compliment to it. So what you would do on your regular grill for something very quick, you might want to say on a weekend I got more time and I want to chill out and, you know, use the barrel and create some beautiful flavors out of that with our hardwood lump charcoal.
Do you remember what some of the first things you did with it when you were maybe like prototyping it, or you had it close to final form?
Yeah, actually, I'll keep it short. So one of the main things is that our base was simply just the base. It was just a very plain base, and in order to stop all the fat that was dripping and rendering, I would use sand around the side. But of course, you know, even some of the best chefs in the world make some of the greatest mistakes. So I would drop some of the food directly on the sand, and there's no getting sand off food once it hits it. So we had to think of a different system. So now we created these 2 half-moon systems at the base in which you can add liquid and have a grate on top, which pretty much sets this apart from any other, you know, grill, roaster, smoker, which, you know, the 3-in-1 combo is not really commonly found out there.
Very cool. So if people want to learn more, if people want to buy this thing, how do they get more information about the barrel?
I would say go to our Instagram page, you know, at Barrel the BBQ. And, you know, you can go and see our link tree there, which has our YouTube channel, our order page, our information, our specs about the barrel. And it has a bunch of fun videos and very cool things that we've cooked out of it so far.
Very cool. And once you're there, if you use promo code PANCON10, that's PANCON10, PANCON, because I know a lot of people have trouble with this. We don't speak Spanish. We've been called Pumpkin Podcast, the Panko Podcast. This is PANCON10 for $100 off of the barrel. Thanks, man.
Awesome. Thank you.
This episode of Pan Con Podcast is also brought to you by Elite Impact Windows. Elite Impact Windows does exactly what it sounds like they do. They are purveyors of impact windows. That's the kind that, especially if you're in a hurricane-prone sort of area, you want so stuff doesn't come flying through your windows. Mike, you have impact windows on some of your restaurants.
Listen, I heard a rumor. Tell me if this is true. Are all their products tested to go up to 185 mile per hour wind pressures?
That is how their products are tested. That's all their products are tested to meet that. I don't know. I've never been out in 185 mile an hour wind. But if I were, I think I might want to wear some of these windows as like a suit.
I feel safer already just thinking about if I was walking around in that kind of wind and I was wrapped around with their just windows just wrapped around me, I'd feel like a much safer person.
Yeah, you should put them on your caddy.
Maybe not. But I also heard that they meet all the requirements of Miami-Dade County.
They do meet all the requirements of Miami-Dade County.
Fuck me, that's amazing.
EliteImpactGlass.com or on Facebook, Elite Impact Windows, Instagram, Elite Impact Glass. They are proud partners with Eco Windows, CGI, and Windoor.
One of the things I really appreciate about them and their company is that all their products are made locally here in South Florida, and fuck me, that's amazing.
Look at this. They are all made here in South Florida.
Did you do your research?
Man, I did not do the research.
Somebody didn't show up ready.
They have competitive pricing with totally 0% financing available. I mean, I don't know if you have credit like mine, you might not get 0% financing, but it may be an option. It's possible that that's an option for you. 0% financing. I don't know exactly how that works. Whatever the case, if you go on the website, you ask for a quote, and you mention Bang Gong Podcast, you will get 10% off of your installation.
And I don't know if you guys have ever installed Windows before, but 10% off of window installation, that's a good fucking deal. And you know what? You got it here first on Pancom Podcast.
That's right. Mention Pancom Podcast. Again, it's EliteImpactGlass.com or Elite Impact Windows on Facebook, Elite Impact Glass on Instagram. By the way, you mentioned restaurants. They do commercial properties. So whether it's for your home or your business, if you need Elite Impact Glass to put, all that and do the things that they do so well, you wanna get in on that.
Also, this company, very woke. Very woke. They also offer solar power systems with backup batteries and custom generators for your home. You know why? Because they're woke.
I don't know if that's a positive thing these days to be woke, but but it's nice. I mean,
sounds good.
It sounds good to me that there's solar power involved.
I'm into it.
Generators, solar power, impact glass. If you go to their website, they got a video that shows off like a home that has all of that stuff going on at one time, which is pretty wild.
That's pretty wild.
A lot of panels, a lot of glass, a lot of things. Pretty soon, we are going to get our hands on at least one pane of impact glass.
I'm ready.
And we're going to try to break it.
I'm ready.
I don't know what the procedure will be, but Mike's breath will have a blast of freshness from that Banaka you just heard. I like this for the podcast. You can really
Banaka blast at last. Fast blast Banaka.
I just want everybody to know, and apologies to Elite Impact Glass, because this I don't want this to sound like an ad for Banaka, but in the time that we've been sitting here to record this ad, Mike has blasted himself with Banaka like 5 times.
Twice. Get excited.
I don't know, man.
Twice.
I don't know.
Come on. Twice.
Elite Impact Glass. Thanks to our sponsor.
Thanks.
Go get your windows from.
Go get those windows.
You do that, and the money's gonna come. So then I went to Le Cordon Bleu for a little while, got out of there, and then I starged everywhere for a little bit, and then my first Miami job was Chef Timon Balou.
Ah, Timon.
Yeah, Sugarcane.
What a legend.
Yeah, it was awesome. Yeah.
Timon is a legend. I really loved Balou when he opened Balou.
Yeah, it was. Oh yeah, me too. I actually went like twice, and
I think I went 2 or 3 times.
I thought it was pretty good.
Yeah.
Because I just like that kind of cooking too. You
Same.
know, being from the Caribbean, I think he hit the nail on the head, and it was pretty good. So yeah, man, and that's how I ended up in Miami, and from then I just started working my way around and doing my thing. You know.
So after Balou, what was next?
After Sugarcane, Zuma.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah. So I actually was doing 2 jobs at the same time. I was doing Sugarcane in the morning, and I was doing Zuma at night.
So many people have been through Zuma. Huh?
Yeah, man.
I mean, it's a big kitchen. No, I've actually never even been to Zuma to eat.
No?
Never.
Oh man. Back in the days when I was there, I haven't been back to eat since I left, and that was a long time ago.
Yeah.
But when I was there, I learned a lot. It was pretty fun. We had a really good chef team, and
how many people were in the kitchen?
Oh,
because
man.
numbers there are like big.
Yeah,
no?
it was like 60 people
in the kitchen.
Yeah, like we had, because you had the sushi. Like there's like 3 different kitchens, right? So you had the sushi counter, then you had the robata, then you had the hotline, and then you had like the next hotline, which was like the fryer and
kind of like Sugarcane.
Yeah.
And
then you had pastry. So it was a big kitchen, man. That was a machine. I mean, it's not gonna lie to you. That's one of the busiest places I ever worked in my whole entire career. It was Zuma at that time.
I mean, do you remember their cover counts that they would do?
Oh man, shit. We were doing on like a Friday and Saturday night. We were doing like almost 600 covers a night.
That's crazy.
Yeah, we were turning and burning, man. Busy.
I have never seen that.
It was insane, and that was maybe 8 years ago.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They've always been like that. From
Yeah.
what I understand, like the numbers there have always been 500 cover nights,
Yeah.
600 cover nights.
I remember for one Art Basel night, I think it was a Saturday of Art Basel, I think we did like 711 covers from 6 to 12.
My body aches thinking about that.
Oh, it hurt. It hurt, but it was fun.
Yeah.
It hurt, but it was fun. Like, I don't know. I just, I guess what's pain for everybody else is kind of fun for us, right?
Yeah, I mean, we're masochists, right?
Yeah.
I mean, cooks, like, we live in a hot, aggressive, sweaty atmosphere that we chose to make it our career.
Yeah, and you know what I mean? Like, it pays off, for some of us. I don't want to say the ones that get lucky, but maybe the ones that, just show a bit more ambition than others.
There's an extra level. There's another level. Like, I'm fortunate that I have a good, like, young chef team at Ariete, and there's like this secondary chef team, the chef and the CDC, and then 2 junior sous chefs. They're young, and I always tell them it's like you're solid cooks, but you need to work to the next level, which is like a whole other. You're looking for all different things. You're not just working your station. It's like another level, and it's like, working when you're at home, studying other people's food, studying their menu structures. Then on top of that, like when you're at work, it's like how you speak to your cooks and how you go about your day and how you do. Like it's a whole other thing.
Yeah, I think like for me, the easiest, what became easiest is you just gotta always have to know. You gotta know everything.
The smartest thing that somebody ever told me, and it was because I went into this is my first sous chef job. I went to a Friday night service, and I thought we had a prep item. We didn't have a prep item. And he told me, it's like, if you don't physically touch it and hold it in your hand, it does not exist.
It doesn't exist.
It's just not. It's a fictitious thing that you made up in your head because you saw it yesterday or the day before. It doesn't mean that it actually exists.
And I think that's what I became really good at, right? Is like knowing what we had all the time. So like if a cook come to me and be like, oh, 86 this, I was like 80. I was like, no. I was like, oh, I looked in the walk-in. I was like, did you look or did you scan? Which one? Like, there's a difference. Like you actually dig through and look through everything, or you just went, beep, beep, oh man, I'm busy. Fuck that. There's nothing.
Right.
And I will go and be like, come, go grab them. I know exactly where it was, how much we had. I just became good at that, man. Always knowing what we had when we had it, and knowing more than everybody else. Yeah. I think that's what helps you get to the next level faster, right? Like if you always know, that just shows that you give a shit.
Yeah.
Right? You give a shit and you want to be that guy. You want to be the guy that's in charge and making sure everything is getting done. And I had pretty good success with that. These guys, Michael Lewis actually trusted me to run Q. You know what I mean? And before that, I was at the Faena at POW with Paul Key. That was fun. Before that, I was at Scarpetta for a little while. I moved around a little bit.
I mean, that's a good. You make it sound like so leisure, but that's like a very good resume.
Okay.
It's like, like I was here. It's a great restaurant. I was at that one. I was like, I helped run that one. I was like,
it was pretty fun. It was pretty fun.
I mean, Paul Key is very good at his job.
One of the most talented guys that I ever got to know.
By far, I did a dinner with Paul. Fuck, man, it must have been like 5 years ago now.
Yeah.
And I mean, he's incredibly talented.
Yeah, incredibly talented. Yeah.
And then we did. I mean, Scarpetta is legendary, right?
Oh yeah, man.
Who was running Scarpetta at that time?
Nina had just left, and there was this guy. He worked with us at Zuma. That's how I ended up over there, right? Because I was. He really needed cooks and he needed help. So he's like, hey, can you come give me a hand? And I had just walked away from Zuma from being a sous chef, and I was like, I don't know, going back to cooking is gonna be kind of hard. But I was like, all right, well, I was waiting for the project for the Faena to kind of get going anyway. So I was like, well, in my downtime, might as well just go make some extra cash.
Right.
So I ended up doing that for a little while, and it was fun. His name was Marlon. Yeah, Marlon was his name.
They do big numbers there too, yeah.
Yeah. The pasta station, holy fuck.
Yeah, we just both talked about how pasta stations.
That one was the worst.
Yeah, not my favorite to work either.
Yeah, the worst. But I had fun, man. I learned a lot. I learned a lot that I took away from that kitchen, and I had a great time.
So Scarpetta was POW, Scarpetta, and then Q?
And then Q, yeah. So I left POW.
Did you open Q?
Yes, from day one.
Oh.
Yeah, from day one. You know what I mean? Like, we always talked about it. Michael was he was exec at Zuma, and we just ended up having a great relationship, more like family, and you know what I mean. Like we always talked about it. He always talked about opening his own spot, and you know what I mean. Like for me, that was my guy. So I was like, yo, wherever you go, I'm going. You know what I mean. And like when he left Zuma, we stayed in touch. We talked about it, and you know what I mean. The time came, and it was like, hey, come over to my crib. Let's cook some food for the investors. You know what I mean. And we did it, me and him, and we blew him away. We got investment, and we opened Q. And from then, day one, it was just me and him. You know what I mean?
That was 6 years ago.
6 years ago, yeah.
Yeah, because Q and Ariette are very similar in age.
Yeah, exactly, yeah. So it was 6 years ago, and you know what I mean? I've been there. It was fun.
I feel like that was right at the point that, like, Wynwood was like, you know, a deal.
Yeah, but not
like
really.
what it is now.
Yeah, not really. Like, that street that we was on, man, like.
Because it was like Panther was there, and it was cool. You know, like there was a couple other things.
Wynwood Kitchen,
Alter
Wynwood
was
Diner.
there.
Yeah, Alter.
Alter was there.
And that's really it.
Yeah, I mean, the Gramps was there, and then
you had
the bar that was
Wood
across.
Tavern.
Yeah, Wood.
Yeah, you had Wood Tavern.
So I mean, there was there was, to me, that was a time that Wynwood was still cool.
Exactly, that was a time that we were going to hang out.
Yeah, that like now. People ask me to go to Wynwood, I'm gonna be like, no.
I'm good.
Like honestly, the only reason I would go to Wynwood is to go see you at Q.
You know, and this crazy thing is like I thought like for the barbecue, it's like, man, we gotta get in Wynwood. That's gonna be the spot. And like we started doing this pop-up at Vista Sur, and it just wasn't what I thought it would be. You know what I mean? Like not covers wise, but just like the atmosphere. And I'm like,
it's also the type of clientele that go there, right?
Yeah, and I'm like, damn, like. I actually feel better in the front yard, you know what I mean, where we're doing our pop-up, and it's just...
If you ask me, I'm free both days. I'm going to eat your barbecue either day. And you say, okay, I'm doing it in my front yard, which is where I've been, or I'm doing it at Veda Store, I'm definitely going to your house.
You know what I mean? And,
definitely, without
and
a
I
doubt.
had some, like, regulars that came to Vista Store and be like, you know, chef, the food's still amazing, but, like... We rather the front yard better. It's just it's just a vibe, you know.
Yeah.
And like you gotta listen to your clientele, right? Like where they're happy is where you make money. So
yeah.
For me, it's like I was like, all right, cool.
I don't know. It's just like there's a large part of Wynwood now that feels like it has just zero fucking soul.
It doesn't. It doesn't. Like they're putting up all these like it's just not what it used to be. The character there for me is gone. Like you know the cool thing about Wynwood was like you know all the low buildings, all the like the garages and all
the artwork. Obviously,
yeah, you know what I mean? That
like
was
it was
super
still
cool.
It was still tough, you know.
It was still rugged, but it still had character. Like
right.
You know what I mean? Like you know not to walk in a certain street at a certain time.
Right.
But you won't mind going and taking a chance and just hanging out and going to a bar or going to somewhere to eat, right? Like people still loved it, you know, like the Wynwood Yard. Like they demolished that thing. That was like my hangout. Like I would just go there and chill.
Yeah,
like,
I mean that's like classic developer work, right? Like, hey, we're gonna give you this thing on a lease. Like, no, they're just waiting until their permit passes so they could knock this motherfucker down.
Which was super sad, man. And then once all that shit started changing, just Wynwood just started changing, man. And it got too, I don't know, man. It got too bougie for me.
Same.
You know what I mean? Like and Q for me too. Like when you know what I mean, like. Nothing bad, but it's just like everything started changing, you know, like when Michael, Steven, Lizzie, and myself, when we decided to open Q, it was like, man, like we want anybody to come here. Short pants, flip flops. I don't come in your fucking bikini for all, you know what I mean? Like, and it just started evolving over the years, which is good. Change is good, but like it just became the thing that now is like, man, that place is too expensive. Right? We can't go there. We can't do that. And for me, it just started to be like, damn, like that's not what we wanted. Like, we wanted it to be cool. We wanted it to always be hip. Like people from any region, any race, just want to come there and hang out.
Well, I mean, like up until you left Q, like I said, the only reason I would go to Wynwood was to go to Q.
Yeah.
And I've been to a couple other places around there, and I'm just kind of like, I have zero fucking reason to come back. You know, obviously Brad's not there anymore, right?
No, that's gone.
You know, Alter's gone, and Alter had like a very good history in Miami.
Oh, for sure.
I think it was a very important restaurant for Miami as well.
I think that was one of the reasons why a lot of people foodies started going to Wynwood, right?
For sure.
To go see Brad and Alter.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Cool location, cool food, good good purpose. Same thing with Q. And the same thing with Panther Coffee. I mean, you can't take away, what Panther Coffee did for Wynwood is huge.
Oh, for sure.
It was the epicenter of Wynwood.
Yeah, for sure.
Now there's several different epicenters, right? There is no center,
No, not anymore.
Obviously, since I'm a car guy, I'll go and I'll hang out. A lot of my friends have donks and shit.
Okay.
There's I hang out with my buddy. He's got part of a '96 Impala crew or whatever.
Yeah.
It's a very different vibe now.
Yeah.
And I'll go for that, which I did 3 weeks ago, and I'm just I don't recognize this place at all.
Yeah,
and
man.
then maybe the only other reason that I would go now is for B-side, but B-side is on the outside.
Yeah,
of Wynwood. It doesn't you don't have to enter, which is fine.
Yeah, you could. Yeah,
Park
I see
on
what
the
you're saying.
outskirts,
I see what you're saying. Yeah,
and then you could just fucking leave.
Yeah, because if you think about it, there's a lot of spots in Wynwood that's not fully developed yet either. But where everybody is where they're putting all these fucking big buildings.
Yeah,
and they're ugly. You know what I mean? They don't even have
the
any
one
character.
Right across from Q, right?
Oh, it's horrible.
Yeah, it's massive. It's massive.
It's I remember when there was a parking lot.
Yeah.
We used to park our cars in there. You know what I mean? And that was an empty street. You would not walk down 25th Street unless you were going to Q.
Right.
You know what I mean?
But now you got a Warby Parker down the street.
You got a bunch of shit.
You got Morimoto down the street too.
Yeah.
You got Gucci now across the street.
Exactly.
Which listen, there's nothing wrong with that.
No, of course not.
There's nothing wrong with that too, but I just feel it's, and I forget the name of the street in LA that it's super similar. It's the street that the butcher's daughter is on, Angelina, and it's very man-made. They want this to be a thing, so they're just gonna force they're forcing the issue, and that's what developers do, and it's part of their job, and I get it. It just doesn't mean that I need to entertain it or go.
Yeah.
Yeah. And now it's going to be really tough for anyone to be hey, let's go to Wynwood. Unless there's old cars involved, it's going to be very difficult to get me there. So
understood.
It's just, I don't know, because I didn't love it to begin with. I used to love, I had a romantic involvement with a couple of the coffees that were at Panther Coffee.
Okay.
It was very romantic. It was. Yeah, no, it was very romantic. It was very Panther had a couple Chemex pour overs that were fucking. They blew my mind.
Okay.
So they don't even do that anymore.
Yeah.
They don't do Chemex anymore.
No, they don't.
It's too long of a process, and I get it. As someone that owns a pseudo coffee shop, I get it. We don't do Chemex either. Fuck that. But I don't know. I just don't. If I'm gonna go to Panther, I'm gonna go to their what's the Little Haiti location, right? That's further north.
Yeah, that's further north. Yeah,
I'm gonna go there, and they got a parking lot.
Yeah, exactly.
And they got a fucking
and they got the benches outside.
Right.
You can sit down. It's nice and quiet.
Right.
You know what I mean? I like that area too. That Little Haiti, Little River area. I think it's very underrated, but it's cool, man.
I mean, there's fucking great food out there.
Yeah, there is.
Fucking Clive's is one of my favorite places to
go
go
to.
For
sure.
Clive's,
for sure.
Chef Creole, one of my favorite places to go to. Imperial Moto, one of my favorite coffee shops also.
And then now you got the boys at Lot 6, Carrie.
Right.
Yeah, those guys are doing very, very cool shit over there.
I haven't been to Lot 6 since Lot 6, for those people in Salina, Kansas, is the team that has Jaguar Sun, which is a very well-known cocktail bar that had really, really great food, opened up an open-air steakhouse, essentially.
Yeah, Sonny's.
Yeah, and they did it during COVID. That's when I went. I went with Alex from Hometown.
Okay.
Right, which is just a delight of a human being.
Yeah, he's awesome, man.
Just such a delight of a human being.
Yeah, I had the pleasure of meeting him a couple of times. He came to Q.
Super talented and knows so much about fucking food. It's crazy. He's an encyclopedia about all the old French shit that I love. He knows all of it, which I love.
Yeah.
And then, and then they just revived it, right?
Yeah.
They brought it back, which is cool, and I love that shit. That's cool. So yeah, there's good stuff happening out there.
Yeah, man.
It feels like, to me, the natural progression is Wynwood, Q was part of that beginning of, I would say that Wynwood probably started 4 or 5 years before Q opened.
For sure.
Right? But I think what really picked it up was places like Alter and Q opening.
It's crazy because I've never been to Wynwood until we signed the lease for Q.
Same.
I've never
other than Panther. Yeah, no,
yeah,
I
not
went to Panther.
even.
Well,
Like,
because I used to go to Panther when I worked at Cypress.
Okay.
Right, so it's like right down the street.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I don't know. Like now, and I go, and it's like so touristy and so kind of trashy. It's like the type. It feels like to me this is the second coming of Ocean Drive.
Heard.
$150 a square foot, shitty leases,
Yeah.
tourists everywhere. Now it's like manufactured art for certain places instead of just like an organic art scene, like graffiti scene that was.
But the thing is, I don't think the only difference between the beach and between Wynwood is Wynwood. I don't know. It could die, right? The beach could never die.
That's a good point,
right? Like the beach will never die.
Well,
like I think from my couple of years that I've been in Miami, I've seen a lot of like, ups and downs with the beach. Like one time is like fucking popping.
Sure.
You know what I mean? And then it's like nobody goes to the beach. And then people go to the beach again. And then nobody goes to the beach again.
I can tell you all of that is a lie. It's just our perception because I own a bar on the beach, so I know very well what happens there. It doesn't matter. Like I had to do a pop-in at our bar. Today is Monday? Right? Monday? Or maybe it was yesterday. I don't fucking know. But there's a fuck ton of people there. And it's Tuesday afternoon, like at 11, and it's fucking it took me 45 minutes to find parking to be in my bar for an hour. And it was like our idea of Miami, because we're locals here, is different than what the rest of the world's idea of Miami Beach is.
True.
They still fucking go.
Yeah, because the other day a friend of mine came to visit and they were like, "Oh, we're going to South Beach," and I was like, "You going where?"
But why?
I was like, "For what?"
But why?
Just like, well, like that's the thing you do when you come to Miami.
But why?
I was like, "Yeah, you're right," because the first time I came to Miami, when I was like to the age where I could go drive and do my own shit, I was like, "I'm going to South Beach."
So I was in my car because I gave a ride to my director of ops, and she's not from here, and she asked me, this is Brittany Rothwell. She's also a Pumpkin Podcast Hall of Famer. And she asked me, she was like, when's the last time you like went to the beach? And I'm like, what do you mean? Like, she was like, yeah, like go to the sand. And I'm like, oh, fuck. It must be, a decade?
Holy fuck.
Because if I'm going to go to the sand, I'm probably going to go to Key Biscayne or something.
Okay.
Because there's just less fucking people there.
Okay.
And it's easier to get in and fucking out of.
That's fair.
That's
like me. Like I think every single time I went to the beach, it was Hollywood Beach.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And like
North Beach is so much better.
Yeah, like I used to go through. So I used to drive down Hollywood Boulevard, and then it was like when I was younger, and I was like, man, I love this fucking neighborhood. Like I want to buy a house in this neighborhood when I can afford it. And like that will just be my route to the beach every time. And like every time I pass through, it's like the same thing will pop in my head. I'm gonna own a house in this neighborhood. And last December, me and my wife actually bought a house there.
Amazing.
And you know what I mean? Like
I love your house.
I thought I would have been.
I love your house.
I thought I would have been fucking going to the beach more because I live 5 minutes like walking distance, and like I actually don't go to the beach anymore. And I used to go a lot before I moved that close.
Yeah, no. I'm just like my equivalent of going to the beach is going to Monty's on the water.
I'm going to be interrupted by a guest. Dave Arvello just finished dinner at Chubb's.
Happy birthday, Dave Arvello.
I think he saw that we had Raheem on, and he was like, I want to be the barbecue guy.
That's right. Dave's from Virginia. So.
Yeah, that's funny.
So, there he is. Danger Dave himself. Destroyer Dave himself. Happy birthday, Dave Arvello, everyone. Dave now turns 936 years old. Congratulations, sir. Huh? Yeah, he's actually. Chef Raheem, this is Dave.
Nice to meet you.
Dave is my manager for all my MMA fights that I don't have. Yeah. Yes. So, backtracking a bit. Hold on, Nicholas, Mr. Jimenez,
Yes.
would you like some shitty brown liquid?
I won't be drinking that.
Wow. Someone has found Jesus.
That reminded me. I need to go in. Last time I was here, you started like 5 hours late. I never paid for my drinks at the bar.
Phew, that's right. They're gonna hunt you down. They're gonna hunt you down, sir.
Well, nobody ever asked me for a card.
Pay your tab. Pay your tab. This is not a Denny's dip, sir. This is not a Denny's dip.
That's funny.
No, Daniel, come on, get the fuck out of here. Danny Rosales, everyone, sous chef at Ariete. Let's clap it up for him. He's taking out the trash. Everyone who wants to be a chef, just watch as the man takes out the trash. He will be deep cleaning something also in just a couple minutes. So when you open Q, I think Q is a very important restaurant for Miami.
Yeah.
Definitely an important restaurant for that neighborhood. Walk me through that first couple years.
Man, it was fucking hard.
I can tell you that.
To be honest, it was just like really me and Mike, right? So like, Mike is the guy and I'm his guy. You know what I mean? Like, and he had just started a family too. You know what I mean? Like he was getting ready to start a family right when Q opened. So it was like I was just waiting for that day when Mike was like, "Guess what? You got to run the fucking place because I'm having a baby." You know what I mean? Like,
right.
And it kind of happened. It happened like on a Sunday brunch where I was like, "Fuck, what were you to do?" But figured it out. And I, you know what I mean? Like he trusted me to run his spot, so it just went from there, man. And you know what I mean? Like I had a lot to learn still. I had a lot to learn still, but I had the team behind me. You know what I mean? Like so, the team was empowering me to be like, "Yo, you're the guy."
Yeah.
We're going to follow you wherever you go, whatever you do. You know what I mean? Just lead us. Just tell us what you want done and we got your back. So
I can tell you just from like us being friends, because I know Mike, but we're not tight. He's always been like super great. He seems like a great guy.
Yeah.
But you would tell me more about things that were happening, and the numbers that you guys did were
holy
real.
Shit. Yeah, we're doing
like fucking real fucking numbers, man.
Yeah, man. We yeah. I mean, like there was a time we were doing nothing less than 300 covers a night, right? And at that time we had 96, 97 seats. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean?
That's turning the room 3 times, everyone. And for people who don't know about restaurants, that's not fucking easy.
It's not, right? But I think that was a cool part about the concept that we did. We were just kind of like order fire, like as it comes in, it goes out. Like it doesn't matter what course you're on, where you're at. Like you might get a vegetable before you get a fucking sashimi dish, you know what I mean? And that's just the way it is. And people understand it.
Like, obviously everyone knows I'm very opinionated about food and restaurants in general, but I really do enjoy Q a lot, especially when you and Mike were there. Like, how many times did I take my team for lunch there?
Oh, man.
Like 3 times, probably?
A good
3
bit,
times.
Yeah. And I think you brought your sister for, like, birthday once.
Yeah, I did. I brought my sister for her birthday. And, like, it's just like... and then actually, I think my sister celebrated her anniversary without me.
Yeah, without you, yeah.
She went with her husband. And, yeah, I mean, it's just like a really enjoyable space. It's a fun space. And I think, like, the food was fun, enjoyable, interesting, super solid every time. Never once had a meal that was like, it was just okay. It was always like, yeah, it was fucking good.
Yeah.
It was fucking delicious.
And I think that's what for us, that's what our goal was, right? It's just like, how do you create good food all the time?
All the time.
Right? Like, and that's how all the other spots, like all the big chains are Houston's. Or you just take it back to like McDonald's, right? Like, why does everybody go to McDonald's? It's because it's consistent.
All the time.
Right? It's the same shit all parts of the world. And, you know what I mean? For us, it was like, how do we create food like that? You know what I mean? And I think it was very technique driven. Like, people didn't see that part. Like, it seems super simple, but like, a lot of the fucking shit that we did was a lot of work prep-wise.
Yep.
Like, heavy prep and small pickup, right? For instance, like, we made that duck juice sauce. We had to make a chicken stock. Then we take a chicken stock, roast the duck bones. Then we made a brown duck chicken stock, right? Take that, turn around, and make a duck jus with it. Like, it was like 3 days of just fucking sauce making just to make a sauce to go on the plate with a piece of protein, right? And people was like, damn, this shit is really good. But it just seems super simple, right? It seemed like I just took a sauce and put it on the plate. Yeah. But just the pickup behind that was so much, you know?
Well, I like the way that I like to build our concepts is you prep heavy, so pickup is easy.
Oh, for sure.
Always.
For sure.
I mean, you prep heavy, so the pickup is...
super easy.
Even if it's not easy, it's easier.
And I think that's the only way you get to execute a shitload of covers, right?
Right.
And turn your restaurant multiple times is because, like, it needs to be, okay, we put in this on the plate and that's it. It's going out. You know what I mean? Not like, oh, I'm trying to fucking cook a whole bunch of shit. Like, that part of my career was over at that time. It was just like, for me, it's like, I don't want to do small, intricate shit. I just want to do solid food.
Well, I mean, I think the biggest, like, how you could tell a cook is 1, super confident, 2, educated, and 3, experienced is when there's less is more.
Oh, for sure.
Like, every time that we talk about food within our team, let's say Ariette, for example, we'll sit in a room, collaborate within each other, and then I'll ask them, okay, so now we have a dish. Now, can you strip 3 things off this dish and it still be very good?
Yeah.
Like, can you execute, like, all those little, like, oh, but what if we did this, and what if we added, like, this, and what if we added this little thing? And it's just like, okay. So what if none of that was needed? Does this dish still hold water with 3 components? Which is, to me, the best show of, like, a great chef is, like, can you execute with a 3-component dish that all 3 can be intricate and be interesting on their own? Do they work well together? And do you need a bunch of other shit to make it make sense?
Exactly.
Which is
tough.
Tough.
I know exactly what you mean. You know what I mean? I think honestly, like we did that very well at Q. You know what I mean? It was just all about the protein or whatever it was we were using, the veggie or the fruit or whatever. Like, it was always based on that ingredient and then a couple things that follow. Right? Not much. I don't need a million things in a sauce. I don't. You know what I mean? I don't need all that. I just needed to keep it super simple. And straight to the point, right? And we made a recipe for everything. And like what I used to try to tell everyone every day, you know, it's just taste everything, because no ingredient is the same. No tomato is the same. No, nothing is the same. Like, everything come in different. So no matter if we give you a recipe, that's just a guideline to help you be successful to execute something that we want you to execute.
Right.
But if you don't know what it tastes like from the jump, like if you wasn't tasting it over and over, you're not gonna know if that tomato was too acidic or it's too sweet,
right?
Or do you need to add a little more salt, because you know what I mean, like you won't know.
I mean, and salt is definitely to taste always.
Oh, for sure,
it's always to taste.
You know what I mean? Like, we could put a gram amount, because like I want you to know that, okay, yeah, if you put 8 grams, it's still gonna be good, but it's not gonna be great if you don't taste the fucking thing and make sure that it tastes like yesterday's,
right,
or the day before that. You know.
What was the ideology behind the food at Q? Like, what was the menu? Like, obviously I know because I've eaten there, but like, so everyone understands, it was kind of like barbecue-ish, but it was Asian inspired. It was, you know, I know.
To be honestly, we just did what the fuck we wanted to do. To be honest,
a great place to be.
You know what I mean? Like, it was, we had the, you know, like I still don't know how to classify it. Like, we'd say it was Asian barbecue or Asian inspired. And for me, Asian inspired is literally sometimes we make a dish and there's one Asian ingredient in the fucking thing.
We had a little, like, you know,
we just add like
of soy sauce.
Yeah, right. You know what I mean? Like, but I think that's what made it cool. Like, there was no limits to it. Like, I think when you stop cooking like that, it's like, oh, this is just Italian or this is just French. Like, you just cook. You just cook because you love to cook. Like, I want to put a pound of butter in a fucking sauce, I'm going to put a pound of butter in the sauce. Like,
amen to that.
There's no,
woo!
You know what I mean?
Pound of butter that sauce.
Yeah, that
sauce about to get pounded.
You understand?
Put that on a shirt.
Yeah, there's no, like, there wasn't any boundaries. We did what
like a picture of a pound of butter?
Yeah, I love that. That'd be cool.
Yeah.
We did what we wanted, you know what I'm saying? We did what we wanted, and then, you know, we had definitely the barbecue aspect to it. Like, we did the beef, the short rib, the duck, stuff like that.
Duck was delicious.
Out of the smoker, which was pretty cool. And that's where I started actually smoking. Like, you know, Michael taught me how to do the brisket and the short rib and stuff, and we got pretty good at it. And, you know, during the pandemic, I was like, fuck it. Like, I'm home doing nothing. Like, let's do something, you know?
How was the pandemic for you?
I was actually chilling. Like, I was actually, like, it was nerve-wracking a little bit, right? Because, like, this virus, nobody knows what's going on, no cure, no this, no that. Like, so you didn't know what was to come, but for me, it was like a much needed break. Like, I needed a break. Like,
sure.
And we actually did stuff, you know, like we, you know, deep cleaned the restaurant. You know, Michael and Steven being great people that they are, they stayed, kept all of us on payroll, so we were still getting paid. And a lot of
that's amazing.
Yeah,
like that's super unheard of, and it's so rare. Like,
yeah, man.
I just know from like where I sit, because we kept a lot of managers on payroll, decreased salaries, but still we kept 35 managers on payroll.
Yeah,
and it was tough.
So I think we saw one paycheck at not even 3/4 of the paycheck, like decreased, like, you know.
That's crazy.
And then we went right back to 100%. And it was cool, like, you know what I mean? Like, we did take out, which for me, like, no, our food is not for takeout. But we still did it because people wanted it, right?
Of course. I mean, we had no choice, right?
Yeah, we still did it. And like, a lot of the purveyors were actually very supportive, you know. Mr. Greens for sure. Robert Arthur at the time was there.
We have Mr. Greens as well.
Yeah, he was sending us a bunch of like, they were selling us like a bunch of shit that was, you know, like they can't use, or
right.
And we were just packing bags and giving them out to the staff so the staff could have food, you know, like
we did the same,
veggies and fruits and stuff like that. So I think it was pretty cool doing that every week. We would do that, and then, you know what I mean, I would just go in the restaurant and check everything, make sure it's hang out there. Sometimes just fucking doing nothing.
Right.
Just to get out the house, because I felt like I was just gonna go crazy. I think I've cooked more food during the pandemic in my house than I've ever cooked in my whole entire life.
I bet.
I was just making shit.
I bet.
Baking bread, shit that I don't like to do, I was doing.
Oh man, I can't do that. God bless you.
I was like, well, you know what I mean? Like, I always said that, you know, I like to bake, I like pastry, but I don't have the patience for it. Now I have no choice. I got nothing to do.
Right.
So I just did it, you know.
What do you mean? But you making all the coconut cakes?
Well, yeah, like I didn't have a choice. It was like
for those who have not had the coconut cake at Q, Chef Raheem here throws down a fucking delicious coconut cake.
Thanks to Mike's mom. Mike's mom,
that was Mike's mom's recipe.
Yeah, she hooked it up. She hooked
delicious.
it up. The first time I made it, it was like a fucking topsy-turvy cake. Like, we had it sitting on the at that time it was just a line. You saw like the kitchen.
Yeah.
That's all we had. We didn't have anything in the back. We didn't have none of that shit. So pastry came out of garde. It was the hardest thing ever. And we would have the coconut cake in a glass case, and the shit would just start sliding. It would just start like, you'll see it start shifting, and when you want to cut it, you gotta push it back.
Yeah, you gotta push it back together and cut it.
So yeah, I went and we took the recipe a couple of times to make sure that it's like, okay, it could work for restaurants. You know what I mean? But Mike mom sent the base to the recipe, and it's a badass recipe.
Oh man, it's delicious.
Yeah,
I mean,
shout out to Mike mom for sure.
I'll never go to Q and not have the coconut cake.
Yeah, man. Like, I stopped eating it though. Like, I love it.
You have to though.
I love it, but I just had to. Like, I couldn't do it anymore, bro. Like, it's just too much. I eat that shit too much. I am sick of it. I was just sick of seeing it because how much time I made it. And then we went to open Mexico City. Same shit again. We didn't have a pastry chef, right? Who did all the pastries? I did. So I was stuck over there doing pastries again.
Oh, making coconut cake in Mexico.
The first funny story. So I'm over there and I'm like, yo, Mike, you think we should make the fucking cake the way it is, or we should adjust it to the altitude? He's like, nah, just make it how it is for the first time. I was like, you sure? He's like, yeah. So made it, put it in the oven, started rising. I was like, cool, it worked. 2 seconds later, it went blew up in the fucking oven. So now we got coconut cake all over the oven. So I'm like, yo. So it took me at least a fucking month to get everything adjusted to altitude over there, because it was interesting.
Yeah.
So I did a lot of baking over there too, not a lot of cooking.
Not a lot of
but
cooking.
it was fun. It was fun.
How was Q Mexico? So I mean, the whole thing was like 5 years later, you guys opened up a Q in Mexico City, right?
In Mexico City, yeah.
Right.
And then literally the day we were going to open, the week we were going to open, the pandemic happened. That's when things started shutting down in Miami.
Right.
So, you know, Mike was like, dude, you got to get back, because you got to figure out what the fuck's going on in Miami, you know? So got back, and it was just like, from one day to the next, it was like, okay, cool. Got back, we're still open. Next day was 50%. Next day was, 25%. Oh, guess what? We're shutting you down.
Yeah.
Like, what the fuck do you do?
Yeah, I remember
you know what I mean?
Day.
So, that happened, and we just kept busy, man. We just kept busy doing different things, and you know what I mean. I actually, like I said, I enjoyed it. I needed a break, so I couldn't.
I don't know. Like I'm the kind of person that, like, if I have a break, like mentally, I struggle super hard. Maybe because I've never taken a huge break. So, you know, during the pandemic, I worked a lot. I mean, we also had to like pivot and keep we had to keep the bag secure.
Yeah.
You know? So, you know, I did a lot of work at that time for that. We also, before the pandemic kind of happened, we had a lot of deals that were towards the end of, and then they were just stopped. Yeah. And it was like, well, I had a few interesting opportunities to, like, you know, Ariad had never been closed since the day that it opened. So I had the opportunity to, like, re-envision the restaurant a bit, which I did. And then at the same time work on these other projects that we had been working on, but I had been working on them while I was working on, like, actually working.
Yeah.
So I had the opportunity to, like, sit down and really, like, spec all these things out. I mean, you know, construction was pushed back, the city was closed, like, everything was through a Zoom call. I didn't even know what the fuck Zoom was. Like, you know, like,
yeah, trust me, it's like
like a bunch of that. Like, it was weird, you know, like doing work on kitchens and plans like all through Zoom is like infuriating for me.
Yeah.
So, it was a long process of just kind of like grinding through all that. But I mean, isn't that the time that barbecue started?
Yeah, barbecue started around that time. You know what I mean? Like I said, we were home doing nothing, and I was like, you know what I mean? Like one day we were doing takeout service, and I was on the line, and one day I was like, and I said to to Mark, I was like, yo, we should do barbecue, bro. Like we should just sell something, like even if we just go buy like a Home Depot grill and just grill some shit, and just be like, yo, guess what? We're selling chicken, just anything, just sell something. And it was like, nah, that's not us. We can't do that. We got to do something different. So got a smoker, and I told Mark, I was like, I'm gonna park this shit right in your front yard, down that dead end street, and yeah, we're gonna do barbecue. And everybody thought it was crazy. It's like, nah, nobody's gonna come here for barbecue. I was like, what the fuck we got to lose? We home doing nothing. Couple $100, like we getting paid. Like what are you worried about? So, you know, we started doing that, and right when we started doing that, funnily, I had to go to Mexico City. That's when Mexico City kind of started happening. So first week open, then flew to Mexico, and my wife, man, best thing that ever happened to me, honestly, because that woman hold me down while I was gone doing all the shopping. She went to Jetro, get all the shit that she needed, put it in her car. We lived in an apartment at the time, took it up to the second floor, cooked it all, bring it back down, take it to Mark. Like, I can't, you know what I mean? Like, life has definitely been a lot different since that woman came into my life.
Amazing.
You know, shout out to my wife. Dope. Awesome lady. And yeah, man, like, it just started like that, and it was just literally through Instagram. And if you knew, you knew. And that's all we wanted to do. Like, we just wanted to get it in a couple of people's mouth and see what they think. And people just started coming back, and this person told that person and that person. And literally, it just started going. And I just, you know, I never really been big on Instagram, but as, like, barbecue started happening, I started getting into it more because I wanted to see where we were going. And, like, it went from 1,000 today to, like, in a week, 3,000. And we're up to, like, almost 10,000 followers just organically. No PR, no anything. You know what I mean? Like, there's a couple people that came and did stories on us and everything, and, like, we didn't ask, you know what I mean? They just showed up and be like, yo, we want to write a piece. And I was like, oh, dope, you know what I mean? And for people that know me, I could give two fucks about stories and press and all that. Like, I just want to serve good food, man. Like, if the press come, cool. If they don't come, who gives a fuck?
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, we're going to do what we do anyway.
Right.
And once the people enjoy it, that's all that matters to me. So...
Well, people enjoy it. They enjoy it a lot.
Yeah, man. Like, even during, like, when we shut down for Christmas and New Year's, the first time in my life that I could have done that, I was getting calls left and right. Like, yo, why? Like, come on. At least just do a catering for us. Like, we'll make it worth your while. And I'm like, as tempting as this sound to make a little extra money for the holidays, I'm good. Families come first this year. Like, it's just family. So, right now, we're going to get ready to open back this weekend, and like, the orders just started rolling in already, man. Like,
amazing.
It's just like, holy fuck. It was like we never left. You know what I mean? And that's a blessing. That's a blessing. Yeah, that's a blessing.
I mean, that just it just proves that good food prevails.
Oh, for sure. And I think It doesn't matter where the food is. If it's good, people comes.
Oh man, if you build it, they will come.
Yeah, man.
I say that shit all the time. If like, I don't care where your restaurant is. Look where Boya Day is.
Oh, but it's
right?
good.
It's fucking delicious.
Yeah, and
people
we all
fucking go.
Yeah, we all go.
Not just us. Everybody.
Everybody.
Goes.
Oh, for sure. There's
everybody.
People, like the other day, somebody was like, "Hey, can you get us a table at Boya Day?" I was like, "Who the fuck you think I am?"
Yeah.
I'm just a regular guy, man.
They got like 18 seats.
I was like, yeah, like, you know what I mean? Like, I'm gonna, like, for me, that's kind of fucked up. For me, like, yo, chef, can I get a table for a friend that's coming in? Fuck everybody else that had a reservation. Can you get me a seat? Like, I can't do that, man. Like, that's not the way, I roll. So, I just be like, nowadays when people ask me for reservations, no, I don't know that person.
I mean, people text me all the time.
Yeah, nah, I'm good. Like, if you're not at the spot that I'm coming, I'm not trying to reach out and do all that. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's just too much, man.
Yeah.
Just too much. Like, and people gotta understand, like, it's just like, we love you guys, but some things we just can't do.
Oh, I mean, people don't understand. People don't understand. It would be ideal if people understood.
Yeah.
Like, oh, man, what a dick. He doesn't want to help me out, get my reservation that I wasn't properly prepared for.
Yeah, and it's like, you call me the day of the reservation to get the reservation. What kind of shit is that?
Yeah, I know.
It's like, oh, I can't get
You
in.
should have planned properly.
It's like,
go next month.
if somebody called me, text me for New Year's, it's like, oh, can you get me in the queue? I'm like, no.
Yeah.
It's like,
no,
it's not happening. Like,
No.
that's not how we do things. You know what I mean? Like, but you know what I mean. When I can help, I help, and when I can't help, I just can't.
Well, I mean, you have a very, you're a good-hearted person.
Yeah.
You're a good-hearted guy. My favorite Raheem story, there's several good ones, but our chef at Chugs used to work for you.
Oh yeah.
For a long time.
For a very long time, yeah.
And, I mean, I had known of her through you, and I knew that she was Cuban, and I knew that she had chops. So, like, I knew that she was in Mexico, right?
Yeah, she was in Mexico, yeah.
And I saw that she had come back, and I texted you. I was like, oh, Monica's back. He's like, and you were like, yeah, she's working at Q again. I was like, oh, man. So she's with you again? You said, yeah. And I was like, oh, I was going to offer her a job. And he's like, no. Offer her a job.
Yeah. Like,
offer her a job. I mean, for what job? Yeah, I mean, I'm looking for a chef at Chugs. Oh, offer her a job.
Yeah, for me, I think, like, why would I stop her from growing? You know what I mean? Like, because I won't want nobody.
Yeah, but 99% of people wouldn't say that.
I know, but, like, for me, it's like, she's young. She has a lot of passion. Mm-hmm. She loves to cook. She loves food. She studies food. And for me, it's like, okay, I taught her everything that I know at Q. You know what I mean? She needs to keep learning. That's the only how she's going to become fucking proper, right? Like,
I mean, on top of learning, she, at Chugs, she's had the opportunity to do her.
Yeah, exactly.
With certain concepts as we grow, it's like, I mean, it's not just about me. Like, I can build the concept, and I can obviously, like, build a ton of the food, but if we put a very good person in place, like, that person's got to grow, and that person needs to have ownership of menu.
For sure.
So that they feel like they're a part of the thing. And she's definitely done that, and she's done great work. I think she's grown a lot in the time that she's been with us, and I think that she's done really, really solid work. I don't think that Chugs would be what it is now without her.
That's dope. Man.
Yeah, and I'm blessed, one, to have a friend like you, and two, because she decided to take the job.
Yeah, and like I told her, she was scared about it. I was like, yo, like, you can't be, like, you're gonna learn. You know what I mean? Like, everybody don't know everything. You know what I mean? Like, who gives a fuck if you know the cost of menu or not, a recipe or not? Like, he's gonna teach you. Like, if you know what I mean?
She's learned.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying?
Learned.
But you understand what I'm saying? Like,
yeah.
For her, she's like, no, I don't know. I'm like, yo, it's not. Like, this is your opportunity to be able to do you. This is what you've been telling me you wanted to do for the longest, right? Like, you want to cook Cuban food. You want to mix it up. I was like, there you go. This is the opportunity. Just don't fucking turn it down.
I mean, there's a very distinct Monica dish to my dish.
Oh,
it's
for sure.
Very, very distinct. And like, I can see it, obviously, because of style difference. And I love her food. I think it's fucking delicious. And every time she puts food up for me, I think it's amazing.
Yeah, man.
And she just has to grow into that role of being the chef, the boss, the leader of a group of people. And that takes a lot of time. It takes a lot of time and a lot of patience. And
and it took me a lot of time too, right? Like,
sure. Me too.
It didn't happen overnight, you know what I mean? But the good thing is having somebody that believe in you and got your back. to give you the opportunity to do that, right? There's a lot of people that won't give us that opportunity.
You know, I like when I wanted to hire her, and obviously there's a ton of people in my room that will tell me a lot of their opinions.
Yeah, of course.
And and that's what they're paid to do. But like when I have a gut feeling and when I have like a sensibility about a human being, like I was a certain way at one time too. If no one ever took a chance on me, I would be fucked.
Exactly.
Right? And like, I just feel like, yeah, I mean, she's going to struggle. Every chef, like new chef in a role, is going to struggle. Right? But if you have the chops, you can fight your way through it. Because the chops is going to get you there. All the other stuff you got to work on. Right?
Yeah.
And there's like corporate people that are going to get you there. And there's corporate people that are going to drill you on shit. And there's like, but in essence, if the food you put on the plate is right, then the food that you put on the plate is right.
Yeah.
And that's what matters.
And one thing I always respect about her, she's not scared to work.
No.
She's not scared to work. You know what I mean?
Like, man, it frustrates me so much though. You know, like, but not with her. I have a few chefs like that. It's like, I want you to go home.
Yeah, not her.
Go home.
It's like you gotta be like, yo, go home. I'm gonna fire you.
Yeah, go home.
It's like that, like.
And it's like, so like I'm working at Expo. I look at my watch and I just be like, go home. She's like, no, I'm going home. Okay. 45 minutes later, why are you still fucking here?
Exactly, man. There was times like in Mexico City, we're there and she's there. I'm like, yo, I'm here, right? Like, you could go home, right? She's like, no, chef, it's not your responsibility. I'm like, yo, go the fuck home. Like, I got this. Like, I could do this with my eyes closed. Just go home and relax. Take some time off. Like, chill. Because when I leave, you're not going to be able to go home.
No, I mean, and now, obviously, I've been at Ariat pretty much every day for the last 6 weeks. Like, I'll go over there and say, why are you here? What do you mean? Well, you don't want me here? No, why are you here? I'm like, I just want to hang out. Is it okay? And she's just like, was there something wrong? No, nothing's wrong.
Yeah. She's like,
I miss you guys. I can't miss you guys. Like, what the fuck? But I have a lot of respect for that because I've been like that my whole career too.
Yeah.
Like Chef Manny at Ariat is the same fucking way.
You know what I mean? And it came to that point too. Like even my team at Q, man, like all my sous chefs and stuff, like I could have rolled in there at 10 o'clock in the morning, you know what I mean, and leave at 3 o'clock and know that service is gonna be fine. Because, like, my chef in the morning made sure everything was set up, ready to go. And then my guys that came in the night just knew that, okay, this is how we're going to rock service, and that's it. And, you know what I mean? Like, it's blessed when you have a team like that. Like,
it's a blessing.
When people can, like, actually have your back and you know that you don't have to worry.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, that was the best part about my...
And it's... like, obviously there's a massive labor shortage in the entire world.
Oh, sure.
And whatever, and, like... The way I tell people all the time is like, in the world of food, you're always short cooks.
Oh, always.
Now
you never have enough.
Now I feel like it's more than ever, but you're always short on cooks. When you find that like very special group of people that believe in a thing, it's a very special experience. It's very rare. It's a blessing because it's gonna go away.
Yeah.
It's going to go away and enjoy it while it's there.
Yeah, and you just got to take care of them too, right? Like, you take care of your crew, man, they stick with you, right? Like, man, like, if I didn't tell everybody, like, when I was leaving Q, if I didn't tell them this, yo, stay here, I got nowhere to fucking put you.
Right.
They all would have, like, yo, chef, where you going? Can we go with you? I'm like, no, like, I'm actually going to take a break. You know what I mean? Like, you guys need to stay here. This is a steady paycheck for you guys, you know what I mean? Like, don't quit. But, you know what I mean? Like, every day, it's like, yo, chef, you got something yet? I'm like, nah, bro. Like, you guys chill.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, and I'm just not that guy to do that either. You know what I mean? Like, not because I leave someplace, I'm going to be like, yo, let's fucking go. Like,
right.
That's kind of fucked up, Q is still part of our legacy, right? Like, that's what we did. That's, you know what I mean? That's never going to go away. Our name is always going to be attached to it. So, if it fails, for me, I feel like we're failures. We let it fail. So, if I could prolong that, right, I feel good about myself. You know what I mean? I did the right thing.
For sure. I mean, it still pains me, like, how the ending of the Cypress Room happened, because I put, like, so much effort and, like, parts of my life into that place. And, everyone always remembers it as, like, that really great restaurant that closed, and it's like, even now I'm like, fuck, man. That restaurant shouldn't be closed. It should be open, serving the same food and that same beet salad and that same fucking consomme with the egg and the whole thing.
Yeah.
Like, it was so special, you know? And even now, like, I feel like that was part of my failure. I left before it closed and then rebranded and then closed. But still, like, it's part of the legacy, you know?
Yeah.
And it's tough. For people who really care, it's tough to live with.
Oh, for sure.
You know? But it is part of your story, my story. I mean, the stories are deep, right?
Oh, yeah, man. Like, that, if those walls could talk.
Man, if the Cypress Room walls could talk, the fucking stories that it would say, the books.
Fucking, especially the walk-in cooler.
The fucking, you know, like, our walk-in was outside.
Yeah, same. Ours was like, you had to kind of go through the back door.
So,
and it was, yeah.
It was always like, there was like 3 parking spots right next to the walk-in, and it was just like, that's where we would like, there'd be a bottle of something, and we'd just be hanging out and talking shit after service and blah, blah, and this and that. It's like, maybe if the outside walls of the walk-in could talk also, like, it would be quite the story.
It would be, I'm telling you, write a book.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can write a book off of those stories. I'm
Definitely.
telling you.
Cuba Decide is getting a little free ad space from us. This is us giving back to Cuba.
They're getting all the love they deserve.
That's right. So they gave us some talking points here. I'm going to read them, but
Yeah.
we're going to do a little bit of riffing.
All right, yeah, cool. You read them, though.
Did you know, Michael, that the last free and fair elections in Cuba were held more than 70 years ago?
That's one of the least shocking statements I've ever heard.
Too many years.
Yeah.
Cuba wants to change. Cubans deserve to be free citizens with equal opportunities for all. Cuba Decide is a citizen initiative that is working toward a prosperous and happy Cuba, where all citizens are equal under the law and have equal access to opportunities for improvement, a democracy in which our right to choose and be chosen is respected. Mike, we had Rosa Maria Paya, founder of Cuba Decide, on the podcast. And it's a topic, obviously, that is important to the two of us, and you had a lot to say about how the being denied those rights all this time plays into your mission with Ariette and Chugs. Talk a little bit about that.
Yeah, I mean, I think the fact that we haven't, as I think a community, as a culture, as being Cubans and Cuban Americans, the fact that we haven't had an opportunity to grow, haven't had the opportunity to progress and to be really who we are, has really shaped a lot of what I decided to, like, my personal mission to be. And meeting people like Rosa Maria and like several others like her in this process have nothing but solidified that goal for me. And to know that, I think one thing, I think it also happens a lot in our age group, feeling like you're alone in that process, feeling like that you're the only one that kind of feels, I guess, a sense of being lost, because you don't really know where you came from, why you're here, all those things. But in reality, there's other people living the same kind of life, and not only living that life, fighting to change what history has just kind of made it to be so, right? Because it's like 70 plus years without free election. After a while, people just forget that there was ever a free election and that things should be a certain way. And there's other people fighting that fight to make sure that this doesn't stay that way.
Right. So like you said, there are people who are fighting to make sure that it doesn't stay that way. And that's one of the kind of, it's not a paradox, but one of the contradictions, right? That we've been shaped by this reality that none of us want to see continue. So Cuba Decide is a wide initiative that includes Cubans on the island and around the world, along with international friends who together work tirelessly to achieve a peaceful change. They fight for a democratic Cuba and are closer than ever to achieving that goal. So what's the strategy? It's the peaceful mobilization of Cubans and the international community, putting pressure so that the people can live in a democratic system and be free. You can follow Cuba Decide. That's Cuba Decide. It means Cuba decides in Spanish. Cuba Decide in all social media platforms at Cuba Decide. It's Cuba, D-E-C-I-D-E, Cuba Decide, Cuba Decide. To learn more or join Cuba Decide and donate at cuadecide.org/donations. The funds raised go to train promoters, recharge cell phones, meaning to keep cell phones active and connected to the internet, produce promotional materials on the island, generate international support, and much more. So go to cuadecide.org/donations. If you put Pan Con Podcast in the memo field in the donations, that will signal to them that money should go to keeping phones in Cuba connected to the internet.
Brought to you by Pig Ink Apparel. Pig Ink Apparel was started in 2012. 2012. Okay. That's an actual statement. It was started in 2012. I was sitting at a bar having a drink, and then I drew this like logo very poorly on a napkin, and I drew a name on a napkin. And the entire purpose of starting this apparel line was because when my family came here from Cuba, what sustained them financially was making clothes. Okay. So my grandmother, she's a G and like a super hustler, and she got on consignment like 1,000 yards of jean. And she made a deal with a friend. Her and my grandfather made a deal with a friend to like pay off the sewing machine, and then they put it in their house. And my aunt, uncle, and mother, with my grandparents, started sewing jeans. And then they started selling said jeans. And then from that company, my grandmother started a company with my father called H&D Fashions. And we did textiles forever. 25 plus years until sadly the company closed. We had 2 factories in the Dominican Republic and 1 here in Miami. And that's really what sustained my like childhood. I grew up in clothing factories my entire life. You know, like it's a very interesting place to be in. It's like these weird like gigantic shelves of just huge rolls of fabric, and then these gigantic tables of ladies cutting shirts, and then going from one place to the next, and then going all the way down this like conveyor belt to like the ones that would sew it, and then they would sew it, and then they would print it, and they would do the whole thing. And it's just like what I grew up with. So it was a small thing that in 2012, which I had no business doing because I had like zero money to actually make it like an actual thing. I was like, I just want to come up with some like cool designs that are lifestyle, food oriented, chef oriented, that aren't so chachi. And you see a lot of the chachi food stuff, like your radishes are wild. Like we don't do stuff like that. So, we're making like a hard comeback. Our my partners and I have decided to reinvigorate the brand and bring it back. Our logo lives on within our hospitality company, and obviously through the merchandise line. And we just dropped our website within the last 3 weeks, and we have some great designs that some local guys helped me do. They're all, I think, super dope, and it ranges everything from like work shirts. When I say work shirts, it's actually the shirts that my staff wears to work, to cooler designs and nicer fabrics and nicer shirts that you can wear out and kind of like hang out in for the day. But Pig Ink has always been like a passion project for me. It's always been something that's never been for money or whatever. It's more of just like the story, and I think it's cool, and I think it's fun, and there's a way to help people within the process too. And I think that, what we're doing with Cuadecide and what we've done with other people in the past, and probably what we'll continue to do in the future with donating to charities, and overall, I think it's a cool thing.
Good shit. So whenpigsfly.mia.com, that's where you get all of that stuff. Do you have like a personal favorite item? If you could only have one.
I honestly...
You could only have one for yourself.
I mean, I think it's because I'm super biased, because I love the original Ariete shirt. So the new shirt that we're dropping for, Cuadecide is probably my favorite one that I wear the most. So I think that that's super dope. The Reservoir Pigs one is like very cool too. I'm a big fan of the hats, like the beanie I'm wearing right now. I like very simple designs. So I don't it's never going to be a lot of things happening. It's usually pretty simple, but Yeah, I would say those are my favorite things. The dad hats are my favorite. Like the khaki dad hat is super dope.
Yeah. The jersey has been in a rap video.
Yeah, I mean the jersey is very cool. The area jersey, the Chugs varsity jacket is also very dope. There's really not many of those, but they will be going to reprint soon. So, I mean, it's really like, I feel terrible saying this, but it's like pretty much everything I wear every day. So I like them all.
Right.
Yeah.
All right. WhenPigsFlyMIA.com. That's it.
Go buy some shit.
Go give Mike all your money.
Yeah, all of it.
Very good.
Yep.
Man, I fucking went and walking after some services and just fucking let it loose. Tears. Oh man.
Today I was
rough.
Telling my 2 sous chefs that were working the line today, I was like, I want just like regular me talk, like the walk-in needs to look fucking perfect when I get here in the morning, and when Chef Manny gets here, because he gets here before me, like it needs to be perfect, right?
Yeah.
Like you want your chefs to walk into like a very nice situation the next day. They're like, yeah, like we got it. And then, like they're all like talking shit or whatever. They're picking up a couple tickets, and I tell them a story. Like when I was at Cyprus, Roel was so big on the walk-in, and I had never really been introduced into that, like that kind of culture so heavily. And man, I used to have nightmares about the walk-in, like just like nightmares, like pure fucking nightmares, like that I would fix the walk-in, I would turn around, and then I would turn back around, I was fucked up again, and then it would grow like 50 feet, and then it would just fall on me. And then I would wake up in the middle of the night, cold sweat, like, fuck! And I'd be like, everything's fine. It's 4:30 in the morning, go back to bed. And I'm like, fuck! Shit! Okay, we're good. Everything's fine. You fixed the walk-in. You did the walk-in, right? Okay, yeah. All right, go back to bed.
Yeah, man, like, fuck. There's times I will fucking jump out of my sleep. Oh, fuck, I forgot to order this, or I forgot to do this.
Fish.
Or I forgot
Fish was always my
the worst. Because it's the one thing that we order at the end of the night, right? And, like, sometime I will go home, and I was like, all right, cool, everything is done.
I'm gonna have a drink.
Go to sleep.
Relax. I'm gonna smoke a joint. It'll be fine.
Fucking jump up and be like, oh, fuck, the fish. I forgot to order the fish.
Yeah.
And I'm like, texting the guy at like 4 in the morning, like,
hey, sorry, late text.
Make sure the fucking fish gets here early in the morning. It was like, yo, even if you can't, just let me know. I'll pick it up. I'll drive it to the restaurant. Like, whatever it takes so I don't look like an idiot. You know what I mean? Like, I think that was a cool shit. Like, I always wanted to, you know what I mean? I always try to go above and beyond. But, like, for me, Q was home. Like, that was my end all. Like, that was my goal, to just be like, yo, we're going to rock out here. We're going to open more. And that's it. Like, I don't want to do anything else. These are my guys. Like, you know what I mean? Like, this is what we're going to do. And, yeah, it didn't happen that way. But, you know, like I said, I still wish all of them success. And I hope it lasts.
It'll last. It's going to be there for a while.
Yeah. But, yeah, man. I'm just looking forward to the future. You know what I mean?
So let's talk about future. Let's talk about future.
Well, right now, like, there's not much to talk about.
Okay.
Right? Like, I'm working on getting the barbecue a permanent home.
Okay.
I think it at least deserves a try. You know what I mean?
I mean, I think it's gonna fucking crush it. But
yeah. I think it deserves that. So, like, I think that's my number one goal. I have a really cool project that I'm working on the beach. Actually.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Look at that.
Actually,
another reason. Actually, an actual reason to go to the beach.
Yeah. So, you know what I mean? You know, some guys that I knew reached out and was like, hey, you know, you want to do something together? I was like, yeah. Well, yeah, with the right people I would. And I was like, yeah, like, this ain't no bullshit. You know what I mean? Like, this is yours. I was like, really?
Oh, that's cool.
And like 2 days later, I got a fucking email, full contract, like ready to go. So, you know, right now we're just in the consultant type stage, you know, designing kitchens and shit like that. So that's pretty fun. I got that going on.
I find a lot of fun in designing kitchens.
Oh, it's because
so
it's
fun.
like, but the thing is, like, for me, I need to be in the space.
Oh,
does that ever happen to you?
No, I mean, so it's funny you mentioned that because yesterday, today's Wednesday.
Yeah.
Okay, so yesterday, I was in a meeting at Laurel, which is the French-Cuban brasserie we're opening in downtown.
Okay.
So, like, I haven't looked at those. I sketched out those plans and did all those plans a year ago. Maybe.
Okay.
And so now the space, it's all getting framed out and the whole thing. And so I'm going through, like, low voltage, and there's a couple issues in the space, just like that don't have to do with us, have to do with the space itself, and like there's slants and this and that, whatever. And I'm just stupid things. But then I'm also like sitting in the space, and so now like the kitchen's framed out.
Okay.
Right. And
so now you could actually see it.
Right. So I like, but not even. I could just see etching, like markings on the floor.
Yeah.
Right. And I know that there's certain markings for like full walls and half walls and stub walls because I've already done this a few times, so I get it. And I'm like, what is this? Why is this like this? And they're like, oh, because it's supposed to be. I'm like, no, but it can't be that way. It's like, well, that's what it's supposed to be. And I'm like, but that's wrong. And they're like, no, but it can't be wrong. I'm like, oh, but it's fucking wrong. And they're like, but why? I said, okay, let me ask you a question. So you're you, and you're standing there, and you're cooking a thing, and I'm over here, and I'm expoing a thing.
Yeah.
And I have to send the thing that way to go to food, to go to people,
Yeah.
right? How are you going to send me food if this is a full 12-foot wall? And they're like, I'm going to walk around the wall. I'm like, does that make any fucking sense?
Don't make any sense at all.
And they're like, yeah, you're right. Doesn't make any sense.
They
I'm
don't,
like,
but they will never understand
no,
that.
and, you know, it's not their fault. They're just like following plans.
Yeah,
and
for
I'm
sure.
like, but that's why this needs to be different. And then it's also, I'm like, okay, so the range is supposed to go here, and the oven's here, and then the rotisser's there. And I'm like, okay, so this is all. And then what's right here? And they're like, well, that's there. I'm like, well, that can't be there. You know, but it's just, I don't know. We've been doing this long enough that we can kind of feel the vibe of the space.
Yeah, and if it's yours and you're the guy that's fucking in charge of the shit, like, it needs to work for you, right? Like, because it's going to come a day that you might have to be on the line, and, like, we just need it to work. You know what I mean? Like, I don't want to force it to work. Like,
forcing it to work. I like Ariat. I forced it to work since day one, and I don't want to go back.
It hurts.
It hurts.
It just makes
It's
it
painful.
so much harder. Like, dude, like, if we get to design the shit the way we want, the way we flow, you know what I mean? Like, it just works so much better.
Yeah, kitchen consultants, right? Like the thing of kitchen consultants that build a kitchen for someone else, like their job is to build kitchens and they hand it to people and whatever. Like a lot of times they've never actually worked in a kitchen. They've never actually done the things and they don't understand.
Like, fucking Powell, like, we didn't get to design a kitchen. It was a space already that somebody else was supposed to take over, and, you know what I mean? It didn't happen, and then Paul came in, and it was just like a restaurant kitchen.
Right.
And then we had like a hotel kitchen, and then we had to fucking force it to work. Like, we had to do some shit. It was like...
I'll tell you, they designed the dining room, though.
Oh, for sure.
Poof.
That, because, like, the kitchen was already designed, right? But the dining room wasn't, but... So they put some shit into that, but, yeah, that kitchen sucked.
Yeah, it was just one long line. I remember.
It's fucking sucked.
It was one long line.
And then you just had to kind of break it down, and it just, like, the breakdown didn't make sense. I'm like, yeah, this is not what and from that day forward, I was like, I never want to work in a kitchen that somebody else designed for me. Like, if we gonna do a thing, I'm designing my kitchen.
Fuck yeah.
And if I'm not here anymore, sorry for the next kid to kind of come in and work with my design, but it's gonna be designed the way that I fucking want it.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's interesting though too. Is like Chugs was an interesting situation because it was a pop up and it was small and it was like, and I was there and I remember when there was a wall, still there, and then they knew that the space next door was leaving and we're gonna knock down this wall. We're gonna do all this thing. I had it. It's fucking wild. In your mind, you have all these fucking plans and this thing, and then you see it happen.
And it's like, holy shit.
I was like, so now it's even more so, it's even more anxiety ridden because now it's like, if it fails, it's on you, brother.
Yeah.
Like you fucked this up.
You fucked it up. Yeah.
And I was like, so every time like those issues, I was like, I fucked this up. I fucked that up. I fucked this up. And I was like, okay, so fix it. I mean, the area, like, it never made sense.
Yeah.
That little fucking kitchen that we have there, that tiny ass fucking kitchen, never made sense.
Yeah, but you do it.
But we made it work. And we still make it work now. Over there, I was like, okay, so this is a nice big kitchen. Bigger. Let's just figure it out. You know, like, I mean, that's what it is being an independent operator, right?
Yeah.
It's like sometimes, I mean, we're not doing $10 million build-outs. You know, we're doing $1 million build-outs, which is still a lot of money. But it's not $10 million.
No.
You know, so it's like you really have to, like, figure it out. We figured a lot of shit out there, and I'm proud of what they're doing there. I mean, dude, I'm not a volume guy. Never been a volume guy. I've never done volume. I mean, Chugs will do 600 people on a fucking Saturday. And that's It's never been a thing that I've ever done. Ever. So when I'll be at Ariat all day and I'll look at the numbers and I'll be like, fuck.
They're busy.
680 people.
Well, that's good though. At least you got somebody in place that did a lot of numbers. So,
Yes,
you know what I mean? Like, so she
God.
understands. Like, you know what I mean? She did a lot of numbers before, so at least you got that going.
I think the building process, you definitely have to feel the space. Like Laurel, which is the curtain one that we're building, it's getting framed out. Ceilings are getting dropped. Framing is going up. I feel like it's like deja vu all over again. I feel like I'm right back to it, and it's interesting because with this one, I feel the design is like really well thought out. It's a bigger it's bigger than Chugs was only 2,400 square feet. This is 4,000 square feet, and I don't know. I think it's a really smart layout. I think it's like, we have a wine cooler that holds 900 bottles of wine. We have
nice.
The bar is small, but it's efficient. The kitchen is solid. It's not massive, but I think it's smart.
Well, the sad thing about restaurants, right? The fucking back of house always suffers, right? Like we're the one that
I actually feel like they have it pretty good there.
Yeah, but at like most places, right? Like when you're not partner and you're not the guy, and you're just going in to be the chef. It's like, oh no, chef, we're just gonna take a couple feet there and just take away a piece, and then you're just gonna take another piece there and take away a piece, and by the time you look, it's like, what the fuck you guys left me to work with? A matchbox?
I was in this meeting yesterday, and I looked at these guys, and like everything now, because the supply chain is super fucked and everything's taking longer. They're like, well, the walk-in's not gonna get here till March. I said, okay, that's fine. I said, yeah, but we're gonna frame it out. I said, what do you mean you're gonna frame it out? I said, yeah, no, we're gonna frame out the walk-in. I was like, let me remind you. When you framed out my walk-in last time, I lost 2 feet of walk-in. If you fuck this up again, I will fucking lose it. And I was like, the day that you frame this out, you will call me, and I will be here, and I will measure the framing my fucking self.
And if not right, we knocking it down.
And if it's not fucking right, you're going to take that shit off the fucking ground, and you're going to fucking put it the way it should be, because I don't give a fuck if I lose walk-in space again because of you, because poor Monica, her walk-in is fucking tiny. Because of how they fucked it up. I was like, I do not want a fucked up walk-in again.
Yeah.
And they were just like, okay. I was like, yeah, I'm dead fucking serious. If you fuck this up again, I'm going to make you tear the wall out. I'm not paying for it. You're going to fucking pay for it, and you're going to fucking fix it. But I only have that ability because I'm the owner.
Yeah, man. And I think, but it's important, right? Like, if you guys want us, if we want to make money and we want to do things the right way and we want to make this, they want us to make this awesome food and shit like that, like, you need to give us the tools to work with, right? And the tools to work with is not just the fucking stove.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, it's the storage, too. Like, we need to be able to store the shit.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? Like, that's one thing we had to get accustomed to at Q. I was kind of accustomed to it at Zuma because it was so fucking busy that we ordered almost every single day anyways. But at Q, it was like we had the smallest fucking walk-in when we started. And we ordered every single day, bro. Like, there wasn't... the fish that you ate today was today's fish.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You're not eating that fish tomorrow. Like, you know what I mean? Like, there might be a fillet left over to go over to the next day, but the fish is coming in again early in the morning. It's getting broke down. It's getting put away. And it's not even getting put in the walk-in. It's getting put on the line.
On the line.
Because we don't have space to put in the walk-in.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, the cases of chicken that's coming in today, they're getting broke down today, going in brine that same morning to use for the next day. You know what I mean? Like, there's no hole in shit.
Yeah.
We didn't have that luxury.
Well, that's the beauty of small space.
Yeah, we didn't have the luxury. So, like, everything was always super fresh. You know what I mean? And, like, now we got a bigger walk-in, but it's still the same way. I just feel like everything grew, right? Like, the walk-in got bigger.
And so the cover counts.
Yeah, we started doing more. So now it's like, it's the same shit. It's
I think that the world of Ariat's very tiny kitchen made me think of the super efficient, prep-heavy, smarter food that we do now. Like, I think our food is beautiful, and it's like, obviously we do a ton of work a la minute because it's like very French style, but like, it's efficient. Like, the way I think about food now is completely different than the way I thought about it 8 years ago. Like, completely different. Like, I break things down to like, how are we going to start this in the morning? How does it get to service when we pick it up? What is the move that cook makes to pick it up? Yeah. Obviously, because all those kids too that now work the line, like I worked every single station that they've already been on, you know, or that they're starting, or that they're getting promoted to another state. I've worked them all. So it's like, I know all your moves. And actually now, I just gave them all new equipment within the last 6 months, so now you have nicer shit.
Yeah.
So like, you're lucky. So it's like, you have more to work with, but I know all the movements you're gonna make.
Yeah.
So it's interesting, like building a new space that you've never been in. It's a little daunting, and it's a little like I find it fun, but I also find it like very anxiety ridden.
Yeah. So like I remember my first, like when Mike offered me sous chef position at Zuma, he was like, "Yo, you're ready," and I was like, "Nah." He was like, "No, you're ready." I was like, "Nah." He's like, "Why not?" I was like, "Because I haven't worked every single station yet.
Right.
How am I gonna look like a fucking fool if I sit on the pass one day and somebody say, 'Hey chef, this needs to be fixed,' and I can't walk back there and fix it? Then I'm gonna be a fucking total failure." Like for me, it's like, in order for me to be a leader, I need to know how to fix the problems.
Right.
Right? Not just be like, "Oh chef, there's a problem. Can you come fix it for me?" Like that's not, that wasn't me. So I pushed off that job for months. I was like, "Nope, I don't want it. I'm gonna work all the stations first." So he was like, "All right, cool. I'm just gonna fucking put you through them." I was like, "Nah, it's not gonna be 2 weeks. I need at least a month. I want a month in every station. I need to know the prep forward and backward. I need to fucking make it. I need to fuck it up a couple times, and then I need to learn from my fuck ups, so I could know that when this happened, I knew what it was."
You know, that's such a rare quality, right?
Yeah, I knew what it was, right? Like I wasn't hungry for like I really wanted it, of course. Who didn't want to be fucking sous chef at Zuma at that time? But I just had to, man. Like I had to work the stations. I had to feel it. I had to fuck it up a couple times, and I had to knew how to fix it, right? Because you know what I mean. Like that's the whole thing with the cooks. Be like, once you got their trust, right? And in order for you to get their trust, you got to be able to fix the problems. They want to see that you could walk up there and fix their problems, and it might not even be a cooking problem. It might be a problem that they came with from their house.
Yeah, I mean,
that they want to talk to you about, and you just gotta listen.
Yeah, I mean, as a chef, you're much more than just
your dad. Your dad to everybody.
They call me uncle, dad, grandpa,
to everyone.
A bunch of shit.
I'm saying, like, you really have to sit there and listen to. Sometimes you don't want to fucking hear it because you just had to go through some problems too. But all you could do is.
But
sit
your
there.
job is to listen.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So, I'm just excited for the future, man. Like I think.
Let me ask you a question. What do you think about Miami food in general? I mean, you've been here.
I think Miami food is definitely evolving, and it's going in a direction that I'm very proud of.
Same.
Right? Years ago, when I was starting, like, you want to go work at all the guys that's coming from out of town.
Yeah.
That's where you want to go eat. That's where you want to go. Now, for me, it's fuck those guys. I want to go to Mike's.
Yeah.
I want to go to Itame. I want to go see Nando. I want to go see the guys at Boya Day.
Right.
Like, I want to go see
I mean, the community is super strong. And I asked this because there was like I feel like I've grown like 30 years older in the last 8 months because, life is so busy and it's crazy and it's like you have so little time for like a thing. Like, I don't really care about like social media beef and people talking shit.
Yeah,
I don't pay much attention anymore. And anyone who listens to this podcast would be shocked by that statement. But somebody said something yesterday that really like it fucking ground me down. And I messaged them directly, and I was like, you can say whatever you want, but the community of this city is stronger and has more foundation than it's had in a very long time.
Very long time.
Very, very long time. And there's people working so hard and doing so many good things that, I mean, I'm proud to be part of the community, right?
Yeah, me too.
I'm proud to do my part. I'm proud to do what we're doing. I'm proud to be, like, friends with Nando and Val and Alex and Lucci and yourself and just, like, all the people doing fucking great shit,
Yeah.
Like, and so many people are doing so many good, interesting, fun things.
Oh, for sure.
And it's true. There's so many people coming from elsewhere. but I also don't give a fuck.
I'm same. Like, I haven't been to any of those restaurants.
Same.
And people was like, yo, I was like, for what? Like, I'd rather go spend my money with the guys that's been here doing
right.
You know what I mean? Like, nothing against them. Like, props. Thanks for coming to our city. Thanks for kind of creating, making our food scene whatever you want to say that you did, right? But we've been creating our own food scene.
Well, at this point, you're hanging on our coattails.
No, for sure. Like we've evolved so much that like people talk about Miami now. Like I went to New York the other day, right? Some friends invite me up, and they had this charity event that they do, and it was in Brooklyn. So I'm there. I don't ever tell anybody who the fuck I am. When I go anywhere, you cook? Yeah, I'm just a cook, whatever. Like, and we're there talking, and the chefs from I don't want to fuck this up. Really good Indian restaurant in New York. Damn, I feel like I'm gonna fuck it up. I don't want to call the name because I might fuck it up.
Okay, that's
Anyways,
fine. Mr. Jimenez, can you look it up? Great.
Yeah, no, Christian is the chef's name.
You're gonna look.
Christian Panna. He actually did
a pop-up with
Neven.
Yeah.
So those guys.
Okay.
So went there and we're there hanging out, and there was a bunch, man, all kinds of celebrities, like shit that I've like, holy fuck, you know what I mean? Like I'm like honored to be here. So all the chefs there, everybody's talking. So one of the guys came over and be like, "Oh, who's that guy?" Christian. Yeah. He's like, "Who's that guy?" And then like before I got to be like, "No, I'm just this person." My friend was like, "Oh, Raheem, he's a chef at Q." And then the guy was like, "The chef at Q, holy fuck, like, what are you doing in New York? Like, you guys are opening pretty soon. Like, this is amazing." And I'm like, for me, it's like, yo, it's not that crazy. Like, it's not that serious. But he thought it was. He thought it was a big deal. Invited me to his restaurant, you know what I mean? Took care of my whole meal. And I just thought it was special, right? Like, years ago, nobody gives a fuck about any of us. Or who we are or what we've done or none of that. But to go to a city and they treat you with so much respect, especially a city like New York, where it has so much good food everywhere that people think that this, like, you know what I mean? Like, that's it. It's like end all for everyone, right?
I think that Miami has, we carry the old reputation of Ocean Drive, right?
Yeah.
But this newer generation and this newer, like, movement that we've had has changed a lot. Like, my CDC here and my general manager, they took a trip. It was a group of them, and they were in New York, and they were at an oyster bar, and they were all getting shitty, and they're eating oysters, and they're drinking or whatever, and they're wearing this mask, and this is obviously you got to wear a mask to do the mask thing. So they had this mask, and it has a pig and parachute on the bottom, and someone from across the bar was like, "Hey, you." And my CDC, Ashley, I love her to death. She was a very, like, intense little British woman. And, said, "Oh, fuck, what the fuck? You got a fucking problem." And she was like, "So you work at Ariette?" She's like, "Yeah." She's like, "I fucking love that place."
Yeah, you know what I mean?
And like, that's in the middle of, like, New York, just drinking, having a good time, whatever.
So, oh, man, like, when the news broke that we were gonna do Q in New York, man, like I got so many DMs, like it was overwhelming. Like, "Oh shit, you're in New York, it's gonna be awesome, thank you guys for coming, like you're gonna bring some dope shit to the city." And I'm like, aren't you guys supposed to have like the dopest shit? You know what I mean? Like, that's
they do have very dope shit.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. Like, is like, is always
the dynamic has definitely changed.
Yeah, but man, Miami is definitely something special. Like, this is not my home, right? Like, I came from the Virgin Islands, but for me now, this is home.
I mean, how long you been here now?
Shit, 14 years.
Yeah, 14 years.
Yeah.
That's a long time.
Yeah, I've been here.
I mean, you get, like you're like 50-50.
Yeah,
pretty much.
Yeah, but you know what I mean. I haven't been home in like 10 years.
No shit.
You know what I mean? So for me, like for me, it's like my family's good. I'm good. Like, there's no reason for me to go home right now. I'm fucking working on something special with my career, right?
I can't wait. Mike, you can walk straight through here. I mean, show everyone on the camera all your taco meat. It's totally fine. Taco meat, Mike. He doesn't like to button his top button, right? It lets all the taco meat out. He's going to braid it later by himself. I mean, I'm very happy and intrigued, and I mean, I don't go out much, but I can't wait to whatever it is that you do, the brick and mortar you do with the barbecue or whatever it is you're doing on the beach, which I'm super intrigued about.
I'll tell you about it off camera.
Oh, off camera breaking news. Got it. We like to get all the news before all the people that get paid for news. I can't wait to visit.
Yeah, and you know what I mean? Like, I'm fucking pumped. Like, I'm not gonna lie to you. Like, I haven't been so pumped about food in a long time. Because, like...
That's the most dangerous chef you could ever find.
Dude, like, I want to fucking bring it to Miami, bro. Like, I'm gonna bring it. Like, I'm pulling out all the stops, right? Like, whatever the fuck it is. But I just can't wait to put my food on plates again.
Yeah.
And be like, this is mine. There's no body influencing me in a way that, oh, this should be here, that should do this, or we should do this. No, this is fucking mine, and I want you to enjoy it. Trust me. I got you. Like, I'm excited, man. Like, I'm fucking excited for what the future has because, like, I'm ready to do mine. I'm ready to just do all me.
Right? I mean, I'm ready also ready.
I'm ready to bring what I've grew up eating, what I've learned, and, like, just fuse it. Just bring it into something special. Like, I'm ready to do it. I'm ready. I'm so ready. And if it fails, and it's not, but it's not going to be because of the food. I'm telling you, like, I'm just going to make sure that I bring it.
Like, I think you should, like, remove that from your mind because...
no, for sure.
Yeah, remove that from your mind.
You know what I mean? Like, I just, you know what I mean? There's always a possibility, right?
For sure. I mean, it's a 50% possibility before you open.
It's always a possibility. So, like I said, like, for me, it's not... I don't ever go into anything thinking that it's gonna fail. But I just want to, like, if it does, it's not because I didn't bring it.
Yeah, but failure is the master motivator.
Oh, for sure.
Whoever tells me different, they really haven't tried.
Man, I'm fucking.
If you don't believe that, like, if you're like, yeah, failures, whatever, I'm like, you really haven't fucking tried then, right? You haven't, like, put yourself out there to the world and be like, here, this is who I am. Like, no. You haven't really fucking tried. If you're saying, like, failure doesn't matter, failure is a huge part of life.
Oh, for sure.
You need to learn how to accept it, learn how to grow from it, learn how to get up from it, and also accept the fact that it is a huge possibility. And every time that you actually go out there to the world and be like, yo, this is me, this is what I do.
I'm not gonna lie, man, Chef. Like, I'm so fucking blessed. I'm not gonna lie to you. Like, I remember leaving St. Croix. I came with a bag of clothes. I had a one-way ticket, and I had $450.
Oof.
That's it.
That's like the classic immigrant story, right?
No, but like
my grandparents are like so similar.
Yeah, and mine is not because I didn't have a place to stay in St. Croix. I just wanted something different, right?
Different.
So, I left, and I just meant that I had to make it, man. And like, I've never been without of a job. I've never been in situations where, like, I've been in some fucked up situations. Like, when I first got here, like, I was going to school, fucking working full time. I had 2 full-time jobs and going to culinary school at the same time.
Yeah, I feel that.
I was getting it. There was times where, like, I didn't have $20 to put fucking gas in my car, so I had to be like, okay, what's more important, school or work?
Yeah.
I got to make a decision, right? Yeah. So it's like, sorry, guys, I can't make it to school today. I got to go work because I need the money to put in gas so I could get to your school and then get to work. You know what I mean? Like, and then there was points I didn't have a car. I would catch 3 buses to get to work, right?
It's
like,
amazing.
So, from where I was then to where I'm at now, I'm extremely blessed.
For sure.
I'm very successful. Like, the other day, somebody was like, oh, when you become successful, don't forget about me. I'm like, sorry, but I am successful. Not that I'm being art, but, like, where you don't know what the fuck I've been through in my past to where I'm at, like, for me, success, I'm already successful. I'm happy.
Well, it's the famous quote, like, you weren't with me shooting in the gym, right?
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, it's like, that's my favorite quote. of all time. It's like, whoa, I do this now. It's like, you weren't with me shooting at the gym at like 3 a.m.
Yeah.
Like, you weren't. I mean, when Area first opened, I used to sleep downstairs.
Oh, tell me about it. I used to sleep on the fucking banquette at Q. I would finish service, sleep on the banquette, get up, go bake all the cakes, make all the ice creams, make all the sorbets, go home, take a shower, and come right back for service.
And I think that, I mean, you say that you're blessed. Like, people here are lucky to have people like you. People here are lucky to have people like several other people in the community. They don't understand that. Like, they don't understand the sacrifices that people have made just to put food on a plate, right?
Oh,
and
sure.
that's really why we do it, right? Like, in our job, we deal with a bunch of fucking blowhards, right? That, I don't like this and I don't like that. I don't give a fuck. Like, I really don't give a fuck. Like, this is, I'm lucky enough that we have several outlets that I could be like, here, I don't give a fuck if you don't like it.
Yeah.
If you don't like how we do this dish, you're not going to put French fries on this dish. That's just not how it works.
Yeah.
And I'm blessed to be able to say that, but it's only because of the time that I put in and so many other people put in. Like, I could never do this without Gio, Senor Pastelito Papi himself. Like, I mean, he's been here with me every single fucking day for the last six. I mean, we turned 6 in 11 days.
Oh, shit.
No, 8 days now.
Congrats on
8
that.
days. I mean, 6 years old for a restaurant is fucking wild.
Yeah.
So it's incredible. It's like, it's a blessing, but it all comes from like a bunch of like opportunities of failure that you've come out of and a bunch of hard work. And I think it's the story of like the industry itself.
Yeah.
It's usually like, if you're willing to put in the work, like, if you build it, they will come. It's the same thing as like, if you're willing to put in the work, the outcome will be there.
Yeah.
So.
And I've had a lot of opportunities recently with the barbecue, people offering me money and shit. And like, or spaces came available and people want to partner and stuff. And it's like, you know what I mean? Like, everybody just wants the want, but they don't want to give. Right?
Yeah.
And it's like, they ask you for shit that is like, man, like, I'm not coming to you with a business plan and be like, hey, this is my dream. Can we do this?
You're coming to me.
You're coming to me, but
yeah.
I'm also coming to you with something that's already kind of, it's proven, it's doing its thing, right? Even if we're doing it in the front yard or not, like, people love it. People come here to the front yard for it. You know what I mean? Like, to me, it's like, why should I have to give you everything for a little bit of something, right?
Right.
And that something is really money, right? That's what it is. So it's like, you know what I mean? I think I made some enemies along the way because I'm like,
amen.
I'm like, it's just like, if we talk about something for a long time and then you send me a shitty deal, I'm not gonna respond. There's no more to talk about. Like,
right.
we've built this report to you for, like, I've told you straight up, this is what I want, and then you turn around and send me some shit like, I want 50% and I want all the money that you made already. Like, all the money that's in your bank account that you guys made, I want that. Like, you got to invest that. I'm like,
who is this crazy person?
Who the fuck? Who's you? Like, what the fuck is your problem? Like, you know what I mean? Or, I want 49% of your business. I'm 51%. You keep 49%. Like, what? Like, for some money? I was like, I'll keep popping up, man. I keep popping up in my front yard till I make it.
Well, I mean, I think there's power in a couple things, and I've learned this a lot in the last like year. Well, one I've learned over the last 6 years, and one I learned in the last year. There's a lot of power in saying no, because it makes you very exclusive, and it makes you, I think, stand stronger behind your ideals. And then 2, there's a lot of power in not giving a fuck about money.
Oh, for sure.
And like, obviously, like, I like making money, and I think a big part of my job is to understand how businesses need to make money, but also, like, money doesn't control me. Like, the product that we put out there in the world, I won't say it controls me, but it's what makes my job fruitful. All the painstaking days and hours of losing time with family and friends and loved ones, like, it makes it worth it, because that is why I think I was put on this planet.
Yeah.
So, like, there's a lot of power in that, and a lot of people get like sucked into like the money thing. And there's without a doubt in my mind, you can go and get a yacht club job making a fuck ton of money. I can go and get a yacht club job making, $250,000 a year, $300,000 a year, working for a corporation making that much money. But I don't give a fuck. Like, that's fucking trash.
That's not what we sign up for, right? Like, that's boring.
Not me.
For me, that's boring.
Yeah.
And I don't want if you can be doing something boring. Like, it's like then I should have just took a 9 to 5.
Right.
And just do that. Get up every day, go do my job, get a paycheck, go home. Like, that's not what I wanted for my life, man. Like, you know what I mean? Like, for me, I gotta do shit that's interesting.
Sure.
I have to stay, like, I have to keep myself entertained because I get bored quickly. And if I get bored, it's like my wife told me, I always got a new project every year. There's something else that I want to do. I started riding bikes, right? And I got into it. Went and bought the most expensive bike I could afford. Bought all the gear. Had fun doing it for a little while. Had to stop because I got too fucking busy, right? So now the bikes just sit there. I love VW Beetles, like old school.
Oh, yeah. Me too.
I have 2 of them.
You do? I love that. Are they projects?
Yes.
Oh, man.
So
I love that. I love projects.
But that's the thing. She's like, why you keep buying shit and just doing shit?
I don't know. It's fun.
I'm like, it's fun. But then there was one time I got into fucking guns for a while, right? Like,
oh, yeah.
So, like, now I want to know everything about a gun. I want to even know how to put it together. I want to build it. Like,
right.
So now, like, you know what I mean? I machined out my first 80% lower and shit, and I know how to do it now. So, like, now I build, like, a shitload. And then, like, I just stopped. She's like, so what you going to do with all those guns now? I was like, I don't know. But it's mine. You know what I mean? Like, I just get into projects because I'm bored.
Yeah.
Right? And that's why I don't want to have that free time to get that bored to be doing shit.
Well, food never
food might want to borrow for the insurrection of the house tomorrow.
Yeah. I mean, food never makes me bored, right?
Exactly.
That's the thing about food is that food always keeps you like very engaged because there's a ton, millions of things that we don't know because there's so many cultures, creativities, and things that we just don't know.
And that's why I love doing it. But then when you get to a restaurant and you're doing the same shit over and over, and there's no change, and you can't really do much, it's like, nah, this is not what I signed on for.
I love how upset the front of the house gets when I change food. I love it because I don't care.
But the thing is, like, I love front of the house, man. Like, we can't do it without them, right? But they're the biggest, whiniest babies in the world, right? Like, they cry for fucking everything. I'm sorry, but they cry for everything, man. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I'm like,
listen, I've grown.
I'm an artist. I signed on to make food, not to make your job easier. I didn't sign on for that. I didn't sign on to make the same food so you could remember and never have to study or never have to remember anything and then make more money than all my line cooks.
Oh, let's not get into that. We're gonna be on this thing for
I'm just saying
3 hours.
though, like, I'm not gonna get in, like, you know what I mean? But that's not what I signed on for. I signed on to be creative, to make food, to have fun, to do this, to teach people, to, you know what I mean? Like, to learn from them.
Yeah.
Right? To learn, you know what I mean? That's what I signed on for. So for me, like, I could care less if they get upset with you.
I mean, you know, like, I've changed a ton.
Yeah.
Dude, there would be days that I would change 50% of area's menu.
But
just like,
yeah, but
I know
that's
it's fun. I know it's fun. I just can't do it anymore. But like, I've created a lot more structure behind like what we do. But at the same time, like, I mean, we're gonna change shit, and I like
we have to.
Just today, I was sitting at the pass and I was telling my GM, I was like, you know, this weekend we're probably gonna add like 2 dishes. And he's like, oh yeah, 2 dishes. What are they? I'm like, I don't know yet.
but it's coming.
It's gonna happen.
Yeah.
It's gonna happen for sure. He's like, oh yeah. I'm like, oh yeah, it's gonna happen.
For
it's
sure.
Coming.
Gotta happen.
Oh, it's gonna
you
happen.
know what I mean? And that's the kind of shit first. So that's why I don't want the hotel jobs, or that's why I don't want the yacht club jobs. And
yeah, but some people are super happy in that.
Yeah, for sure. And
more power to them.
Yeah, but that's not us.
Yeah,
that's not the breed of people. That's not what we signed on to do. That's not the breed that we came from, right? Like, that's not what we want to do. If that's what we wanted to do, like, I could have been doing that right now, chilling.
For years, a decade.
Yeah, chilling. Fuck all the stress. Get to spend time with my family.
Yeah.
Take off time when I want to take off time.
Yeah,
like
a month PTO. A year.
Yeah, like, we would have been doing all that.
Sick days.
Yeah,
one of
but
those.
I definitely do want to create. I definitely want to get to that point in my career where I could create environment for my cooks to be able to do that.
For sure.
Right?
Same.
For my people, my dishwashers, everyone, for the whole team to be able to do that, right? Like, we don't have to work on the holidays if we don't want to work.
Well, I mean, the hope is that, you know, you may fall on the sword now, but the structure of the culture could change long term.
Yeah.
Because the structure is not going to change today. And it's like everyone always talks about, like, the tip dynamic, the ratio, all that stuff. Listen, we're not, like, I'm not Danny Meyer, you're not Danny Meyer. Like, we can't just be like, yeah, we're just going to fuck off 2 of our locations and just try to change it overnight and it not work and be okay with losing a ton of staff and a ton of money. Like, I can't do that. So, you know, like, slow and steady change, you know, implementing things, planting seeds for the future so they grow. I think that it's crazy because as impatient as I am in the kitchen, like, overall patience, at least in structure of career-wise, is the way that I operate. Yeah. You know, like, I create things to be patient to see them through, because it's not going to knock on day one. I saw it at Ariad the first fucking 3 years when there was nobody in there. I saw it. I felt it. I felt all the feelings, all the emotions, all the struggles. Like, I felt it all. So I'm okay. I can deal with that now long term. Yeah. It takes time, man.
For sure. I just want to create that environment where everybody's happy.
Yeah, I mean,
everybody's happy. Like, there's always going to be some unhappy. Some person's going to be unhappy, right? Like, but I want everybody to be happy in the point where they know that they, like, the work that they did, they got compensated fairly for it, and they felt like they got compensated fairly for
sure.
it. Yeah, and I think that's important to me.
I mean, listen, I remember the days I was making like $8.75 an hour to get my fucking shit kicked in.
My first job, I think I made like fucking my first job period, dishwasher in St. Croix, was making like $6 an hour.
Yeah.
Right. And then when I came to Miami, I thought I was gonna make some money, and little we know, we made the cooks made the least money.
Yeah.
Right. I was making like $11 at fucking Zuma for a while. Right. And like, it's kind of the same thing at Sugar King, like $12 or some shit. I was like, holy fuck. Yeah. So for me, it was like, okay, I'm not going to go harass my chef for a raise every fucking 2 seconds. I'm going to figure out a way to make more money. How you make more money? Get another job. Ask it for more hours, right? Somebody don't show up. Hey, call me. I'm coming.
Yeah.
Like, I was always that guy. Like, there's one time I did 7 doubles at Zuma. I thought I was going to die. I literally my last double, there was a coconut tree, like, underneath the bridge. I went on the fucking coconut tree because, like, the stump kind of, like, went flat and then went up. And I passed the fuck out. Everybody was looking, where the fuck did he go? I was out. I was done. But, you know what I mean? Like, I wasn't making a lot of money, but I needed the hours. The hours helped me compensate for the money that I wasn't making. So,
right.
You know what I mean? Like, well, I didn't mind doing it.
My hope is that I can execute someone's, like, livelihood within 40 hours.
Yeah,
exactly. And it's been a big deal. Like, you know, 2021 into 2022, like, I got my entire company insured, which was a goal for me since day one. As a small restaurateur, like, I want to get everyone insured with benefits and the whole thing, and like a solid wage, and you know, that's why it's very important to be a chef owner, to be in a room with investors that don't understand.
Yeah,
you know, like employee retention is huge. You know, and I want to keep my people long term, and I want to see them grow within the company. You know, just because you have a job today doesn't mean that's going to be your job forever. If you want to grow here, like David Chang said it forever, it's like we had to grow to create opportunities for the good people within the company. And I as much as I disagree with a lot of shit that he fucking says, I do agree with that. You know, that's the only way to keep good people, and to see them grow, and to be proud, and see them do their thing.
For sure.
I mean, I'm happy to see it, and I hope I continue to see it, you know? So, wow, that's good. I feel like running through a wall. Yeah, I'm super jacked up. I just want to run through a wall right now. You know, like, I feel like you weren't with me shooting in the gym is one of my favorite quotes of all time.
Yeah, definitely.
Nick, where's your ball tickler, man? Is it in the bag? He's giving it up. All right, so I think we're good to do some wind downs here.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's time for our wind downs. This is we're gonna do our party recommendations.
Did you deepen your voice on purpose?
I didn't know. I've lost my voice a little bit.
Oh, have you lost your voice?
Yeah, just a little bit.
Is that you and PD singing in the shower?
PD and I have a podcast when you're not around.
Is it?
Oh, yeah.
Is that what it is?
It's a very loud podcast.
Step into the litter box?
I don't think you understand how dogs work.
You're right. That's accurate. Yeah, but it's still a good name.
It is. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a
when
good
I have
name.
a cat, that's going to be the name of the podcast.
Got it. I can't imagine you with a cat. Your cat would be more disinterested than you are, and that would be a lot.
Yeah. So much.
So much.
Yeah.
Damn.
Yeah. Also, we look forward to a response from David Chang on his invitation to Pancon Podcast.
Oh, David Chang's going to come on Pancon Podcast?
I don't know. If he listens to it, he definitely will never come.
Why not?
Because even when you have good shit to say about David Chang, you're like, I disagree with a lot of fucking shit David Chang says.
I mean, I like David Chang, and I like his food a lot. I just disagree with a lot of shit that he says.
All right.
Yeah, I mean, it's more about him than it is about any kind of community at all whatsoever.
I don't know what you're talking about now.
Okay. You just
Anyway.
have to listen.
This is where we do our parting recommendations. Everybody recommends a thing. It could be anything at all as long as it's not yours. Something that you think people should eat, read, watch, do. You can do more than one recommendation. That's fine too. Raheem, you want to go first or you want to give yourself a little time?
Yeah, I'm gonna give myself a little time.
Mike, what do you got?
Parting recommendations?
Yep.
Oh, fuck. I'm so unprepared. Have I talked about Peaky Blinders already several times?
On the last episode with Nick, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I just polished off season 5 of Peaky Blinders, and man, it was just very good.
Season 5.
Season 5 of Peaky Blinders. Yeah, it's all 5 seasons deep. Apparently, season 6 is coming out in 2022.
I think I watched season 5 already.
So I'm ready for it. I'm super ready. I'd also like to say that the first episode of the Book of Boba Fett, which Peter Santamaria was very big on, sucked. It was dreadful.
Oh.
I don't understand what's happening there. I think maybe Peter, because he's part of a comic book community, maybe he understands more. This is my parting non-recommendation.
What was it called again?
I think it's the Book of Boba Fett or whatever, which Dave Arvello is shaking his head vigorously because he's agreeing that is the name of the show. I'm a big fan of anything that has to do with the stars and ships and shit blowing up.
And Wars and Treks.
Wars and Treks, and I just didn't love it. Maybe I'll watch it again. Maybe I'll give it another shot. I wasn't feeling it.
Okay. Fair.
Yeah.
So take it up with Attack Peter.
Yeah, I mean, he said it was very good. I'm ready for more. He's got 9 million followers on Instagram, so 9 million people probably watch that show and were like, what the fuck is this guy talking about?
Just trying to get a toy deal.
He's trying to get a Boba Fett toy deal.
Yeah.
You panderer,
Like a little
Peter.
Japanese boba.
So good. I love that. Do you have parting recommendations?
I would say I watched. It's not really so much a recommendation, but I watched that Spider-Man No Way Home. Saw it with my goddaughter.
And?
It was good enough. I would say if you're the sort of person who can hold off, you don't need to see all the Marvel shit right when it's out. I would say that it's a wait till it's streaming situation.
Okay.
Not a theater necessary thing. It was. It seemed like it was. They've just spent so much time on all those Marvel things, building them up, and if they're going to continue, they had to sort of yank at least this character out of all of that shit. What I mean is, if people have forgotten who he is, it sets you up to be able to do another Spider-Man movie without all of the complications of bringing in. Spider-Man can't do shit, right? Because all of his friends are in the Avengers, so you can't make a Spider-Man movie where everybody doesn't show up.
Right.
And I think
it's like putting on a night watching fights at Nick's that only me and Dave show up.
Right.
Right.
Exactly. Because the Avengers forgot who we are. Exactly. All that. So that's one recommendation, and then I will recommend also the latest episode. Actually, this is David Chang related. The latest episode of PBS's Finding Your Roots.
Ooh.
Finding Your Roots, which they do genealogy stuff. and this one was 2 people. It's usually like a celebrity, right? This one was David Chang and also Raul Esparza, who is related to our friend Rebecca Esparza.
Oh.
But who's a Broadway actor. So they did like genealogy of these 2 guys. So if you're interested in David Chang's genealogy, go and watch that. And if you want to know Cuba things, go and watch Raul's.
Got it.
They're all in one episode.
I have one more.
Go for it.
So there's a gentleman I follow on social media. His name is Drew Albert. He's a comedian. He refers to himself as he/him, which is a thing. And
oh man,
he
here come the DMs.
Yeah. I mean, Raheem's talked about guns already, so it's gonna be whew, it's gonna be lit.
Really?
On Pancon microphone. So
it's usually me saying shit and then people telling Mike about what I've
that
said.
they're not gonna approach Nick. It's like, your friend. He's just quite a lot. I'm like, Nick? Yeah, I mean, I get he's a lot, but I mean, you could talk to Nick. I don't fucking know. So he does comedy about restaurants, which I think are very fucking funny. I mean, and he nails it every single fucking time. Just like his last piece. Well, no, not last. It's like third to last. It was called Seated by the Kitchen.
Uh-huh.
And it's just like, and it's just, a deuce that's sitting by the kitchen, and the chef is just like, I need fucking runners. Where the fuck are all my runners? And I'm like, oh, that does sound like me. Like, like to the Z. Where the fuck is my tuna? What the fuck? Why the fuck is this taking so long? And I'm just like, ooh, I wouldn't be talking about tuna, but that also sounds like me. And I'm just kind of like, yeah, and he nails so many of them, and they're all fucking hilarious. So he has like different characters.
He plays them all.
He plays them all, and it's incredibly entertaining. You can lose a solid 45 minutes of your life easily just going through his social media and laughing, because you will laugh, especially people like us that are in it will laugh because we've lived it all.
Heard.
And I feel like it's all very realistic.
Sure.
So that's it. Raheem, it's your turn, sir.
I know.
I'm
over here still thinking.
Hard pressure.
I know. Like,
I don't know. Drinking Pig BBQ.
No.
What do you mean? That's your party recommendation.
No, she said it can't be mine.
No, okay.
But I do recommend that. I think everybody should get out and start trying all these local guys like us. Yeah.
What's the most recent thing you ate for the first time? Like the most recent time that you had something for the first time that you liked?
The most recent time I had something for my holy fuck.
Or maybe not if that complicates it too much. Just the last thing you had that was like worth recommending to people.
The last place I ate, where was that? I think it was Italy. Yeah.
All right.
Just everything there is fucking delicious.
Yeah.
What those guys doing are stellar. Like, I'm a fucking fan.
That's actually...
I'm a fan.
Itame should have like a standing commercial on this podcast.
Nah, I'm a fan. You know?
I mean, me too.
I'm a fan.
But every time people come on here, that's one of their recommendations.
And
Val's going to be...
I really
Val
think somebody should...
Val Chang. Oh, well, Val Chang. Oh, that's a shameless plug.
What is?
What I was about to say. I'm trying to say
Well, let's transition into shameless plugs.
Shameless plugs here on Pan Con Microphone. What's your...
yeah, man, I think... Itame. Zitsum for sure.
Oh, Pablo was just
Pablo
here.
was serving fire over there at
Pablo guy was here like an hour, left an hour before you got here.
Yo, Pablo is such a special dude, right? Like, so he had his staff dinner. He asked, hey chef, can you do some barbecue for us? I was like, yeah, for sure. It was a day that we don't do barbecue, but for Pablo, why not? So he came over, did barbecue for all of them. So then he's like, yo chef, how much do I owe you? I was like, I just kept ignoring it because for me it was just like, I don't really do barbecue on this day. Like, whatever, man. Like, I just want you to be, you know what I mean? Like, I just want to show some hospitality because he does the same shit when you go eat at his spot, right?
No, man. I did the same fucking thing to him.
Literally. I'm like, I wasn't expecting anything. A couple minutes after, he's like, oh, check your email. Fucking gift certificate to come eat at this spot. And I'm like, yo, this guy is just the best. Right?
He is the best. And, Pablo and I talk a lot, like a ton. I love him to death, like family. And, it's like year one of opening a restaurant. I know that feeling super well. We talk about it all the time. And today I just like our first like hour was very slow, and we had traditionally like the hour pop, right? And he was in that first hour. I look over to the right from the pass, and he's sitting at the bar. I'm like, oh, this guy's about to get fucked up. I'm about to bury this man. He has no idea what he walked into. And he ordered the tasting. I'm like, oh, what a world of hurt you just walked yourself into. I was like, so you're going to get already 5 courses, and I'm going to add 5 more on top.
Trust me, that's how I felt. You wasn't here, but I came for my anniversary.
Oh, yeah.
That's how I felt, too. I literally, the whole fucking menu I had, I was like, it's literally me and my wife. And like,
good.
What am I going to do with all this food?
Yeah, take it home.
Right? Like, this is a lot of fucking food.
That's our love language.
Yeah, but
this
it is.
Kids call it as, this is our love language.
It is a chef thing.
Yeah.
Right? It is a chef thing.
Well, I mean, when I go to fucking Zitsum, like, I just can't physically eat all this food. And it's usually just me and one person. And last time I went with me and my business partner. And I was like, tell Pablo I'm not hungry. I told Sarah, just tell him I'm not hungry. And he didn't give a fuck. He gave zero fucks. I was just like, of course. Oh, you didn't order this, but here's this. Oh, yeah. Oh, but you need to add this on there. I was like, fuck, man. So today, I think he ordered the tasting, which is 5 courses, and then I added 5 on top.
Nice.
So he sat at the bar and he told the bartender, he's bringing a white flag. He's throwing a white flag. I was like, I'm going to fuck about his white flag. I'm going to fuck.
Yeah, man. And like everybody else, man, all the other locals guys that's out here doing it, that's, contributing to our culture for sure. Like, we should all just go try it, support them.
Yeah.
Right? Like,
amen to that.
There's a lot of big space.
There is I may have had a couple drinks when I sent this DM to this gentleman, but I was like, there is no new Miami. There's just Miami, and they could be rolling on our streets, but we are the street, my man. And he was like, oh man, like, you're nuts. I was like, yeah, I'm fucking nuts. Right? You are correct. I was like, we are the fucking street, my dog. Like, we built this bitch. So,
Those are your shameless plugs?
No. Shameless plugs here on Pancom Podcast. So, Valerie Chang,
yep,
which is one of our upcoming guests here on Pancom Podcast, her and I are doing a dinner together for the James Beard Foundation here at Ariete on January 18th, maybe. It's a collaboration dinner. I believe it's 4 courses. Chef Devin is doing dessert. Val and I collaborated on 2 other courses. I think we have 80 tickets. I think we've sold half. Today, the JBF hit me up about like media invites, and I would love to just sell all the tickets so we don't have to invite any media at all whatsoever. Nick, you want to be a media invite? You're DADE Mag. You are the DADE Mag man.
I'm more interested in trying to get a James Beard podcasting medal.
There are those.
They are, yeah.
They are those. I want to be able to like bite it, like Carlos bites his. Like,
is that what he does?
He does do that. He does. You know what? One of my favorite points of today was how Ryan Pfeffer is sporting an incredible mustache now.
Oh, it's good.
Oh, an incredible mustache, and he tried to like blind eat at Nave. Like, we don't know who the fuck you are, sir.
Big old upper lip pepperoni.
You're right along whatever. So we saw you.
Yeah.
You and your wonderful mustache.
Did he do a ride along?
I don't know. I didn't when those like type of people are here, I don't like acknowledge them. Let you you could do your thing. It's fine.
Yeah, you can pretend I don't know you're here.
Yeah, but I see you and your mustache from far away across the room.
Yeah. You should cue up porn music when he walks in with it.
Yeah, I mean, I could see Ryan as a little porn music with the. Like,
oh yeah, for sure. Does he twist it around?
I mean, it looked rather twisty from far away.
No, so it's more like Hook than like a big caterpillar situation. Mm-hmm. Good stuff.
Man,
all right,
gotta get
Raheem?
the fucking flan at Chugs.
Oh, the flan at Chugs,
best thing ever.
I really like the BK pie at Chugs.
Nah, fuck that.
Fuck that.
Got it. Fuck that.
The flan. Like, I'm just saying, like, best thing I ever had. Like,
Dave was just telling me he had the arroz con leche, which is
the fucking texture on that thing is by far man. And this is before before and after, right?
Yeah.
Like the first time I tried it, you know, it was just small pop up, and I think like everything was amazing, but that was the best part of my meal.
Nice.
Like
Wow.
I really fell in love with that flan.
Wow, don't tell Monica, okay? don't tell her.
Nah, this is before. Actually, I'm Monica's upset with me because I haven't made it over to eat yet.
Well, the one time you tried to come, we were close.
Yeah, I did. But I gotta come back.
So, Raheem, you got shameless plugs? Tell everybody where they can find you and all your stuff.
When is the barbecue popping back up?
Oh, Saturday. This Saturday. This Saturday and Sunday in the front yard, North Miami.
Love that.
Yeah, in the
Love
front
that.
yard. We're back in the front yard again, going heavy and hard.
Going heavy and
Going
hard.
heavy and hard. What's the
Next T-shirt, going heavy and hard.
Where can people find it online if they want to like track it?
Check us out on Drinking Pig BBQ on Instagram. Like we don't have a official website or any of that stuff yet. Like I said, we're just keeping it very organic. You know what I mean? If you know, you know, and if you don't know, now you know.
There you go.
Yeah. So, address 845 Northeast 151 Street, in North Miami. Like everybody gets sketched when they first come because it's like, yo, where is this place? It is there. It's at the end of the road, the dead end, or in the cut.
Plenty
just,
of parking.
Yeah, serving up barbecue.
Nice.
Yeah, man. I get a lot of cool people come check us out too, you know. So I think,
shit.
yeah, it'd be dope.
Good shit.
BYOB.
Yeah. BYOB.
And finally, before we go into our Patreon-only lightning round thing, you can find us at Pancon Podcast, PANCON Podcast. It's like a podcast sandwich.
We're on strike.
Mike is going to be picketing in front of my house tomorrow, maybe with some guns borrowed from Raheem's arsenal.
I'm on strike.
He's already taking off his official apron.
Well, I'm going to turn around and make it a cape.
Oh, there you go. Oh, that's good. That's good. It's going to be a super strike.
Yeah.
Also, patreon.com/DADEMAG, DADEMAG on Patreon. A bunch of people just got mugs sent to them. Some people are still getting... Philip is still getting mugs. I told him,
Philip
like, hey,
is about to start eBaying his mugs.
I told him you can switch over to the coffee one, and for the same amount, like, get yourself some coffee to put in the mugs. But he must really love those mugs. I know he talks shit about those mugs, but he must really love them. And we love Philip because he's one of the big supporters, along with all the other mug and coffee people and all the even $1 a month people. And if you want access to the rest of this podcast, where we do our little lightning round, there's like a little this or that thing that you probably have never heard. Then you need to be on Patreon. Again,
we're about to start a 99-cent club.
A 99-cent? Well, yeah. I mean, maybe
99-cent club, and Mr. Jimenez and myself are going to send you a personalized note every month.
We're really swimming against the inflation stream down here.
Yeah, 99-cent club. So just send us your 99 cents, and we'll personalize a note just for you.
Yeah.
Every single month, and there's a good chance you're going to get it a couple months late, but yeah.
Very good. Very good chance.
All right,
here we go.
Raheem, thanks for we got to say thank you, right? Because not all the a lot of people on here are cheap, right? They're not going to give you the dollar to hear the lightning round.
Yeah.
So
They got to hear the thank you for free.
thanks for doing this. I know that you've been on sabbatical, so I appreciate your time.
No, for sure.
For the people that listen, we're about to do 5 quick questions with Chef Raheem. Go ahead and give us your money so you can listen. If you don't, fuck off. And now I got to go take a leak.
There you go.